Yes, sir. Keep running.
And with that, we say good evening from Triton College here in beautiful River Grove, Illinois. It's Friday Night Lights. The Fenwick Friars take on the visiting Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. Alongside my colleague and dear friend, Bob Vilsaway, my name's Andy Diedrich. Bob, it's week 3 of this young Illinois high school football season. Nice cool breeze coming in. It might not be officially fall yet, but that wind sure feels nice on us.
Well, and when you're wearing all that equipment, it's a perfect night for it. It's not too hot, you don't get too sweaty, and it's going to be a great game here. Now, one team is 2-0, Fenwick, right? And Joliet Catholic is 0-2. Like we were talking beforehand, don't let those records fool you. Of course, Joliet Catholic is a football factory in Class 2, but Fenwick, has won the first 2 games of the year, and they're having a good season already. And we've got the national rankings on here. Joliet Catholic is ranked 716 nationally and 14 in Illinois. I was at the flag football game for Elk Grove recently, and there for the girls' side, ranked 14. It's hard to be ranked 14, right? And then nationally ranked Fenwick, 974, and then Illinois 20. So you're talking about 2 heavyweights here. Commonly, we're announcing for games are in the hundreds on the Illinois ranking.
2 heavyweights indeed. We'll kick off to Fenwick. Joliet Catholic deferred after winning the toss. And the opening kickoff goes out of bounds. Fenwick's going to get great field position to start this one at home.
And just barely out of bounds at that. And the other thing that's very interesting on this, we say watch out, you got a 2-0 team versus an 0-2 team, right? At the same time, Fenwick points 4, 75, just given up 14. That's not very many. At the same time, Joliet Catholic, they were tied last week at halftime 14-14 when it went on to get beat, right? But 35 points for and 51 against. So, they're upside down on the points for. But it's early. They start out like this sometimes and then turn it around by the end of the season. That's what good coaching does. It's all about adjustments during the year and during the games.
A great preview indeed. So this Fenwick offense led by the field general, senior Jamin Williams, takes the field for the first time in the shotgun set. He'll hand off up the middle and is met with some defenders right at the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard or 2. So many different weapons on this Fenwick offense, Bob. Whether it's the Thies brothers, Cam Garrett, Josh Morgan, or Jamin Williams himself running the ball, there's a lot of guys that can do something in the open field.
Well, and that's the thing about Fenwick. They have a terrific offense. They're not one of these one-dimensional teams, run, or pass, or always a run option or something. So it'll be interesting to watch this diversified offense.
Second down, play action over the middle. It's caught, off and running in space. That's Raphael Stewart. Will he get caught? He's at the 5 and brought down, gang tackled inside the 5-yard line. Friar fans are on their feet. First and goal for Fenwick.
A perfect pass over the middle, a slant, then got behind the safeties, and then it was a foot race to the end. Frankly, a little surprised he got caught. Now, they're setting up quick, so that means there's no substitutes coming in. They got the same defense now as they had.
Williams in the shotgun, quick pass out to his right. Well defended, but a gain of 2. So still knocking on the doorstep is Fenwick. That pass caught by number 10, Will Tomczak, the junior.
I love this up-tempo offense. One wonders if they're taking Joliet Catholic by surprise with it.
Yeah, head coach Matt Battaglia of Fenwick has said the motto of his team's offense is Fenwick fast. High-octane offensive style that gets downfield in a hurry and can put up a lot of points. I think we're seeing it right now, Bob.
Right, and all those linemen had to run the same 60 yards to get onside for the next snap.
So second and goal, Fenwick sticking with the spread, 3 out to the left. Handoff number 8 up the middle, Jake Thies. Refusing to be stopped. Does he get in?
I don't think so, but you couldn't really tell from the angle they were at, but I kept watching the referee's arms. They did not go up, right? So he's going to be down at about the half-yard line, and if I was Fenwick, even though you've got the great diversified offense, I would cram this one right up the middle just like they did, just maybe behind a different guard.
Yeah, 3rd and a single yard separating Fenwick from starting this game with an opening drive touchdown. They'll take their time getting the play from the sidelines here. And again, you look back at their past performances, like you said, Bob, 40 points in week 1, 35 points in week 2. Are we sure to see a lot more offense here? I think so. Lining up to sneak. Jamin Williams takes it. Men behind him push. Is he in? Waiting for the referee signal. It sure looks like he broke the plane.
From here, it looks like he's in. He is.
And indeed he did. Touchdown, Fenwick Friars.
And I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say this. They got in on a brotherly shove play.
Tush push, brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. All that matters. 6 points on the board for Fenwick. And now they bring out their soon-to-be Division I kicker, Noah Sir, to tack on the extra point.
And of course, everybody is always polite for that, sir.
Bob starting with the dad jokes early. Let's see if Sir can go ahead and validate him on that one.
Yeah, I promise that'll be my last one.
Snaps actually Bosch running to his right with a lot of room. Does he get in? Stuffed at the goal line. The try is no good. Great job by the punter there and the holder, J.P. Bordeaux-Walsh, for improving on that broken play on a botched snap.
Now, even though it was a broken play, that's where it's good plays on both teams. Okay, they botched the snap. They had a plan, ran right, almost made it in, but Joliet Catholic was very, very alert on defense. How many times do you see players just kind of standing around and a play like that happens? They're not ready for it. Joliet Catholic was absolutely ready for anything. And I think it was Troy Aikman on the air one time said, that 1 point never comes back and haunts you, does it?
I'm sure it has a lot of times. We'll see if that happens for Fenwick, but you were alluding to it before. These are two very well-coached teams for being able to improv and be ready for that play at hand. But now the ball gets in the hands of that dynamic Joliet Catholic offense.
That's the thing. You just never know if it's going to be a 42-41 game or if it's going to be a 39-7 game. So right now we have a 6-0 game, though.
And before Joliet Catholic gets the ball back to recap their first 2 games of the season, we said before, do not let that 0-2 record fool you. A loss to Lyons Township in Week 1 and to Glenbard West in Week 2 are marring their record, but wow, those are 2 of the top teams in the state. Those are some of the traditional powers of Illinois.
Well, and that's the point. And then you're back to they're only in division, Class 2, right? So, like I said before, it's a football factory out here. They get players from all over, of course.
Joliet Catholic, 10 wins, 4 losses last year. Class 5A runner-up the last 2 years. Nazareth defeating them both times, who they actually play in a couple weeks. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Hilltoppers have quite the game in front of them today, but they're going to get a first look and having the ball here in Triton College.
Well, and both teams play a top-notch schedule. It has to do with they're not in the public league, so they get to play who they want, and they're playing very, very good teams.
Ball on the 40. The Northwestern commit, Noah Sir, will line up and kick this one away.
Well, and we expect it to go through the end zone then. It is a good kick. and you can see why Northwestern wants them, right?
That's a pretty solid prediction from Bob. Through the end zone for a touchback. Well, this Hilltopper offense will set up shop.
I'll get credit for the prediction, right? But at the same time, I was joking. I expected it to go, round about the 1 yard line. The NFL games with the new kickoff rules, that's the goal. You want to kick it at the 1 yard line, not into the end zone, comes out too far. But here he put that one in the end zone, only comes out to the 20, not returnable. And every time, if he can do that, the other team has to earn all 80 of their yards the hard way. But nobody better to do that than Joliet Catholic.
Here comes that Hilltopper offense. Lucas Similik, their quarterbacks. He's played great first 2 games for his team. What can he do with his first crack with the ball? Drops back to pass, looking right, will throw it, caught, and immediately brought down by 3 Fenwick defenders. On that far side, looks to me that is number 3 of the Hilltoppers. That's Jaden Armstrong. That is Similik's favorite target. Armstrong was busy last week. 9 catches, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns against a tough Glenbard West defense.
Now, they're on the short side of the field over there, so what I'm expecting is actually a run. But what I'm expecting is pass to the left side to the wide side. But we'll see what they do.
Second and about 5 from the 25. One play goes left. Can he bounce it outside? And bringing the running back down, number 8, Jake Thies, one of the many athletes on this Fenwick defense that makes up quite the unit for head coach Matt Battaglia.
And early in the game, this is already a very crucial play. It's 3rd down. If they don't make the first down, essentially here you have to punt. Now, Fenwick with their 3-men front line has traditionally been very, very stout, even against the run with only the 3 guys, but they're very mobile. And of course, the linebackers are right behind. But this 3 yards is very, very important. And it looks like a long 3 also.
3rd and a long 3 indeed. Joliet Catholic comes out in the pistol formation, 2 to Similik's right, 1 to his left.
But the right side is the wide side.
Quick slant, gets the first down and the necessary yardage.
I always like that, where the team starts out like that on the right hash, then you run it back to the left hash so you have more room to throw it to the right. I think coaches don't pay attention to that as much, so they end up 3rd and 4 and 5 yards, but they have to throw back to the left, which is harder for the quarterback to do. So that was nicely set up. They got first down, and one more reason Joliet Catholic's a very, very good team.
Yeah, quick slant goes to Craig Peacock, his first catch of the day, another one of Similik's favorite targets in this Hilltopper offense. He'll go under center on 1st and 10. Handed off right side through the hole, but quickly tackled. Number 25, Anthony Finnegan, the senior. We have our first field report from our field reporter, Ryan Haywood. What do you got for us?
Hey guys, so the Hilltoppers trying to stay calm early. Of course, they realize there's a lot of game left to play. They were very happy with stopping the 2-point conversion from Fenwick. But speaking of Fenwick, junior kicker and punter J.P. Bordeaux Walsh has a right leg injury. He couldn't put any weight on it walking off. Unfortunately, he has been carted off from the field, being evaluated right now. No timetable for his return. Guys?
Could be a big-time thing for Fenwick. Thank you, Ryan, as always. Pass over the middle is caught. Tackle's unably broken from Tommy Thies of Fenwick. But after that third down conversion, Joliet starts their next set of downs off with a bang.
Well, and off the play action as well. So there again, when you have a diversified offense, you have to play honest on defense. You have to stop the run and then, of course, also stop the pass. They don't have to worry about stacking the line with more linebackers to stop the run because you just don't know what Joliet Catholic is going to do. I'm going to predict a run here, but play action is in the cards.
Pitch out to the right, cutting upfield, making a man miss and falling to the ground. Once again is Finnegan. And you know, Bob, one staple of the Joliet Catholic offense in years past has been the ground and pound approach. But talking to Jake Jaworski earlier this year, he kind of said people have misconceptions about us. We don't just want to run 3 yards into a cloud of dust. We're going to put our guys in a position with a chance to win. If that means going spread, then maybe they're going to run some spread.
Well, we've definitely seen them in the air so far today, setting up the passes with the runs.
Single back set, dropping back Similik, takes one look, throws over the middle, off to the races. Doesn't look like he'll be caught. Touchdown, Hilltoppers. Jaden Armstrong already off to another masterful performance here in River Grove.
And when you have to stop the run like that, that leaves one-on-one on defense a lot. He had plenty of time, didn't even bother with the fake of the run, and beautiful pass. Of course, this time outran the safety for a touchdown. So we have a tie score and now an extra point attempt again. Let's see if this one goes through.
It's easy to see why Lucas Similik's favorite target is number 3 out there for the Hilltoppers. Jaden Armstrong with the sheer speed to not only beat his man in that route, but also just the track star speed to make it to the end zone.
Well, and no safety over the top help either.
Lining up for this kick, Vinny DeNovo. That snap is botched as well. Trying to make something out of it is the Hilltoppers. One tackle broken. The Friars nipped that one in the bud. So it's a 6-6 game on 2 touchdowns and 2 botched extra points, Bob.
When's the last time you ever saw exactly that? 2 touchdowns and 2 botched extra points. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Definitely some room for improvement on the special teams units for both teams. But as it stands now, with about 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, it's 6-6 in River Grove. We're going to take a short break. Stick with us, folks, here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Sure, my family loves me. They bought me this sweet new collar. My dog bowl is always full of Fido's finest. Heck, they even take care of the personal stuff on my walk. Come on, who does that? But what really sealed the deal for me was when they installed a security system from Forest Security. Hey, I'm no watchdog, you know? Forest Security offers the latest in technology and security for our home. Yeah, I'm pretty good at keeping an eye on things, but I also have stuff to do, like sleep and socialize. A smart security system can provide around-the-clock awareness and generate instant smartphone alerts. They let the family know if something is wrong or suspicious. They do all of the work for us, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what they say, you can't trust a dog to watch your house or your sandwich. Call Forest Security today.
Call us today at 708-452-2000 or visit forestsecurity.com.
Welcome back to Triton College. 6-6 here between Fenwick and Joliet Catholic, about halfway through the first quarter. We actually saw something unusual there, Bob. A timeout going into a kickoff here for Fenwick. They burned one there. What did you see?
Yeah, I don't know, but all I could tell was they didn't take the field in what looked to me like a timely fashion, but I'm thinking they were still talking to the coaches about a few things. So, but timeouts, people always think they got to be used at the end of a half or something to get an extra play out of it. Sometimes you got to reset your team a bit.
We'll see if that bodes well for them. Returning the kick for Fenwick and taking a big hit at about the 22-yard line. And perhaps coming up with the ball.
It sure looks like it. You got a bunch of jumping up and down players from Joliet Catholic. I think they got the ball on that hit. Well, Maybe they were just happy with the hit. We can't really tell.
It sure looks like that Joliet Catholic offense is coming out in the field. That was 27 for Fenwick. Caleb Reed-Jennings that returned that one to about the 22 before taking an immense hit from that coverage of the Hilltoppers.
And this is when you start to wonder, the pros where they have, linebackers who are 250 pounds and all run 4.40. This is why they go to the new kickoff rules. We don't have that yet here in high school. That was absolutely an immense collision.
An immense collision, potentially an immense turn of the game. Similik's going to captain his offense out here on 1st and 10. Fakes the pitch out to a right. Steps, looks over the middle. Nearly intercepted by the Fenwick secondary. Almost closing in time, Josh Morgan of Fenwick.
Well, never one to criticize play design, but look to me, there were 2 Joliet Catholic receivers over there. So the defender on one receiver was able to break up the pass intended for the other receiver. Very interesting. I think that player on the side you would have thought would break toward the sideline. That would have pulled the defender away. But here we go, 2nd down, and again, they were able to use the run as a decoy and throw what, it's a pretty good pass. It just got broken up.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Hilltoppers. They started this drive right here at Fenwick's 25 after a special teams forced fumble. Looks like we're going to get a ball change here. You never know what you might see in the Friday Night Lights, Bob.
Right. I like the minor league baseball games where the dog comes out and gets the baseball bat. I guess they have that in some games for getting the kickoff tee.
You never know what you might see here. Regardless, it'll be the Hilltoppers coming out. Similik in the pistol set. It's going to direct some traffic. Let's see if they air it out again, perhaps smelling blood and going for it all. Similik gives right, bouncing outside, cutting up. Brought down about 3-yard gain there. 25, Anthony Finnegan once again with the carry. A couple Fenwick defenders over there. Those linebackers have sure had to have their keep made when it comes to tackling these running backs.
Yeah, they're very, very active. Fenwick is amazing at stopping the run. You look at the 3-down linemen, you're like, okay, smash mouth high school football. Just push them off the line, get 3 yards. Of course, I always joke about it in a cloud of rubber pellets, right? But the linebackers from Fenwick are very good at stopping the run. At the same time, they're good at stopping the pass. Except that one earlier today.
Fenwick fans on their feet. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Similik back in the shotgun. Looks to his right, throws. Armstrong lays out, cannot make the catch right at the sticks. 4th down and medium coming up for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, the question here, kick or not, I'm thinking go for it. You're at, deep in territory. All you need is 7 yards. I would be going for a 1st down here, and I think they're going to have to pick it up in the air. The run defense of Fenwick has just been too stout. Now the question is going to be into the end zone or a slant. It's going to be interesting. Looks like they've got, 2 receivers to the left.
Jake Jaworski showing confidence in his offense. 4th and 7 from Fenwick's 22. Similik takes the snap. 3-step drop. Throws. Caught.
And got it.
Just enough yardage for a 1st down. A beautiful play design and a pitch and catch. Michael Brown, the receiver there, getting the 1st down for the Hilltoppers.
And it was thrown down low at the 1st down marker. Clearly a timing pattern, too. Very, very well executed. Obviously practiced a lot. But, yeah, he needed 7 yards, so he got 7.5 yards, so the ref can't mark it wrong. And you got your 1st downs. New set of downs. Now let's see if they go back to on the ground. I would expect that, but right now, again, the long side of the field is to the right. So short passes at the right hand would be something in order if they don't run it. Looks to me like it's a run, maybe to the right with all the blockers.
Joliet Catholic showing run. Single back trips to the right. Similik will play action. Rolls to his right. A lot of daylight. Throws over the middle. Tipped. Incomplete.
There it was again. 2 Joliet Catholic people in the middle that could have caught the ball. So again, I'd like to see the receivers get a little bit further apart, shorter or deeper, more left or right. But when you throw into a crowd like that, there's also more defenders. The other thing is he went and rolled to the right. Looked like he had plenty of running room if he wanted to keep going. But he chose to throw it back across the middle, and that's always a dangerous pass. So no harm done, 2nd and 10.
Similik had a lot of real estate with him on that right side. Threw to his favorite target in Jaden Armstrong. Josh Morgan there with the pass breakup. So 2nd and 10 now. Joliet Catholic trying to string together their 2nd straight touchdown in as many drives.
Now this really does look like a run.
I formation certainly will do that.
Oh, and a timeout.
Similik did not like the looks of it. We're going to get a timeout from the Hilltoppers.
Interesting. So just like Fenwick taking the earlier timeout, they took one here. It's interesting how I think it's good when high school teams take timeouts to call a play, they'll settle something down, the coaches see something, they know it's not going to work. It's okay to use the timeouts. Yeah, you might not get to use your timeout at the end of the half, but sometimes you don't need them anyway.
with the guys at this level, you know, it's different than pro athletes, right, that have been doing this so long they can motivate themselves. It feels like you need to take that extra time to make sure they're engaged. What say you?
Well, exactly. And, 2nd and 10 at the, 15-yard line. It's a very, very important part of the game. I mean, this is obviously a close game, 6-6, right? But every point matters, even those extra points that got missed, right? So you can't afford to just give up a down and say, well, let's just run into the middle and get tackled 1 yard. You'd rather have that down rather than the 1 yard. Or worse, a mix-up or somebody you put a receiver out on the field that doesn't know the play or something like that. You just got to use those timeouts and get everyone on the same page. It's difficult to orchestrate the what all 11 players do on the field plus your 75 or so on the sideline.
So they'll go back to the 2-back set. Simlick will send a man in motion. End around play to the right side. Fenwick picked it up well. Couple broken tackles. Into the end zone for the touchdown. That's Jaden Armstrong. Second touchdown of the day, and it's still the first quarter, Bob.
I did not see that run coming like that. I mean, it was one thing to run, but he broke, 3 or 4 tackles? Then as he's crossing the end zone, nobody's got any hands on him. Just a fantastic, elusive running back that cut back into the middle, effectively untouched. So for once, Fenwick let the runner get through there.
And Fenwick, great scheme there on that far side of the field. They were ready for it, but Jaden Armstrong, I mean, we've talked at length about how tremendous of an athlete he is, and I think you're seeing that the proof is in the pudding. This extra point is blocked. What is going on?
It's something in the air here. We just can't get that extra point through. So we got an interesting 12-6 score. But like Troy Aikman said, those points are going to come back and haunt you at the end, potentially.
A 12-6 contest. You'd think maybe it was a kicker's duel. It's anything but that. 3 touchdowns, 3 extra point tries that are no good. And now Fenwick's hopefully going to have a chance to get their offense back in the field. Remember last time, Bob, a fumble after the kickoff return gave Joliet Catholic excellent field position.
Well, and Fenwick's going to get the ball. Obviously, they're going to remember that fumble and feel like they have to play a little bit tougher because right now they're down 6 and they need the ball on this drive to tie the score up. I mean, right now nobody's stopped anybody, so this is looking like it could be one of those 49-48 type scoring games. Now, what happens though? Defenses will adjust, and what's also going to happen as the year rolls on, we're not going to see these missed extra points by these two teams. They're going to fix whatever the issue is. They're going to practice the snaps, make sure the blocking schemes are holding. So at the end of the year, I don't think you'll see those missed extra points. This is early in the year, 3rd game.
DeNovo tees it up and sends it high. That kick stays inbounds. Fenwick had to pounce on it before the Hilltoppers coverage got there, and a swarm of tacklers will make sure Fenwick starts their drive within their own 20.
What a great kick, though. That was, cross to the far side, so it's actually a further kick than the yardage shows. It's in the air for a long time, so Joliet Catholic had time to get under it, and that ball bounced way high in the air. You almost feel like maybe that's a practice kind of a kick, right? And then, Joliet Catholic could have gotten under it. I mean, they were just, half a second behind it? Good thing Fenwick grabbed it when they did. And if they didn't grab it, and they almost didn't, that could have been another fumble. Very well-executed kickoff play.
Either way, the Fenwick offense finally gets their second crack on the field today. Jamin Williams in the shotgun.
Now, the receivers to the right, there's 3 of them, but there's only 2 defenders and the safety, so a throw to the right should work.
Fenwick really trying to establish that run game. Nero went up the middle and was met with nothing but a wall of defenders.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you're the Fenwick coaching staff, you've got somebody up here in the booth, right, taking a look at that defensive scheme and thinking, we got to run that play a couple more times. The receivers cannot go uncovered. Here there's 2 defenders and 2 receivers to the right.
Fenwick looks to the sidelines. They will still play no huddle, maybe not as fast as we saw them on that opening drive. Still 4 wide receivers set. Williams back, looking, airs it out left side, going up, incomplete. I think that was just solid pass coverage from number 21 of the Hilltoppers. That's Kai Nathaniel making his first big play of the day. A potential big play for Fenwick is nullified by just some good old-fashioned defense.
Yeah, lots to note on that. And first off, the throw was a perfect spiral. However, it was underthrown. So you're thinking, well, you're in man-to-man defense, but keep your eyes on the quarterback if you can. That was underthrown, and those are the ones that are primed for interceptions. But it was just, harmlessly dropped to the ground. But yeah, that was underthrown in my mind.
Last week,
be careful with that.
Last week, Jamin Williams got going early with an early passing touchdown, which set up his run game. Let's see what he can do here. Over the middle, blockers in front of for Fenwick. will get tackled about 3 yards short of the sticks.
It looked like he had some running room there, but finally then did get tackled short of the by 3 yards. So Fenwick's going to have to punt, and that was a huge play. Again, these a lot of little huge plays in the middle of a game like that. A first down there, they get to continue to drive and potentially tie the score. Now, in a one-score game, they're giving the ball up to Joliet Catholic with a one-score lead.
How many times can you talk about the cliche of game of inches? It's many times you say it, Bob. It's one of the more true adages as we have in professional sports.
I love the way the professional sports are going, where they could put a little GPS microchip in the football, and you don't have to see the chain gaining anymore.
Noah Sir winds up, sends a punt deep into Joliet Catholic territory. Fair catch, bouncing. And Fenwick contending that the returner back there for the Hilltoppers touched it. Referees do not agree. However, the Hilltoppers will receive the ball. They'll start at their own 15 on this drive.
Sometimes when you make that reaction as a defensive player, it kind of wakes up a referee who didn't think there was a touch, but might be like, it was close. I mean, it almost looked like the Joliet Catholic player was there thinking about grabbing it on one high bounce like that, but then more smartly backed away from it. But I can see why you might be able to go to the referee and to think there was a touch, and if there was a touch, that's a fumble. So now Joliet Catholic with the ball up by a score, so they can patiently drive the ball upfield if they've got the ability to do that against this stout Fenwick defense.
Yeah, Joliet Catholic, again, 0-2, but they're still a consensus top 20, top 15 even team in the state of Illinois, and they've shown it so far tonight. Looking to extend their league, Similic takes the snap. Play action to roll left. Pressure in his face. Pass was on target, but dropped. Similic with a nice rollout and throw, but his receiver, number 17, Frankie Pachonka, couldn't hold on to it.
Well, take heart. Komet used to drop those early in his career. Now he catches them all the time. So perfectly orchestrated play again, pass short to the left, right? Kind of a tough diving over-the-shoulder catch, so just it wasn't made. But that would have been a good 8-yard gain at least. Now it's still 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and the intended target there, Pachonka, listed at 6'3", 260 pounds. If they run that play again, he gets an open space. Could be trouble for this Fenwick secondary to go and tackle. Regardless, it looks like Joliet Catholic might keep it on the ground. I formation for 2nd down. Throwing. Intercepted! It's Tommy Thies! Pick 6! Fenwick ties it! Touchdown, Friars! What a turn of events once again here in River Grove. A back-and-forth first quarter, and I think that about sums it up, Bob.
Back and forth is absolutely the right way to put it. Now we want to see one of these extra points go through. But what I was impressed with is the safety was eyeballing the quarterback the whole time. The throw went a little bit deeper than one might expect, right on the short left pass, going for a deeper slant. Watching the quarterback's eyes, the quarterback never looked him off the play. It was a perfectly well-read interception. Now we have a chance to go up by a point.
So returning that, we'll see the extra point from Sir. Our first made extra point of the night. Fenwick now with the 1-point advantage.
And there's some future headline in the newspaper someday when he makes that kick for Northwestern down by 1 with 30 seconds to go. It's going to be, yes, sir.
Yes, nice sir, indeed.
Yep, so we're up by a point. Now they're giving the ball back, right? But now, Joliet Catholic with their newfound passing offense, they got to be a little careful. One got picked off, and they're down a point. Maybe if they kept the ball on the ground, but that's why Fenwick's defense is so stout. You got those 3 down linemen, right? 4 linebackers. Makes it really tough to run to get first down. So that's one of the reasons why Joliet Catholic also is passing. But passing offenses take longer to work on. So again, Joliet Catholic's passing offense is going to be a lot better at the end of the year than it is at the beginning of the year. So take heart, Joliet Catholic. Just down a point, and it's still early.
Impressive stuff from the Fenwick secondary there. I mentioned it was Tommy Thies that returned that interception for a touchdown. In fact, it was his brother, Jake Thies. Both tremendous athletes, both wear number 7 and number 8. Tommy wearing 7, Jake wearing 8. And I think you just see how much impact they have on both sides of the ball, truly, but especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, imagine the football they played in their backyard growing up. The neighbors had no shot.
Would not want to go up against the Thies household. Anyway, Sir is going to kick this one off from the 40-yard line. Showing that big leg once again. No return from the Hilltoppers. So they'll set up shop. 2 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first quarter. They trail by a point.
Northwestern's an excellent school, and I think he's probably pretty happy about it and showing off his legs, saying, hey, you guys made the right choice.
Lucas Similik, who again has had a tremendous start to this year despite his 2 losses. Again, go back to game 1, 15 of 19, 166 yards and a touchdown. Last week, 254 passing yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. So only his 2nd interception of the season for the young quarterback. What does he have to do differently to get something going in this drive?
Well, first off, they got to get the running game to get more first down yardage. First and is way better to be 2nd and 5 than like 1st and something longer. Like that first pass that wasn't caught, that made it a 2nd and long, and that was the start of that one. So here again, a short pass, they got the necessary 5 yards they needed on the first down, so now they got 2nd and short, so now they can run or pass.
Jaworski putting trust in his quarterback still. That pass out to Michael Brown for about 7 yards or so.
And a good coaching staff as well will not panic. Okay, so what happened after that interception? First play from scrimmage, another pass. So we're not saying, hey, you blew it. Now we're going to start, staying this, keeping this thing on the ground. I like that they passed the other direction. You don't want Thieves to get another interception on the same side.
We've talked about Similik a lot, but the fellow senior in the backfield with him, the tailback Anthony Finnegan, is nothing to sneeze at either. Maybe he'll get the ball here on 2nd and short. Play action once again. Pass nearly gets broken up, but it gets to Armstrong past the sticks. So another first down for the Hilltoppers, albeit maybe a little bit of a scary one.
Well, and that's the trick on that first down. They were only 3 yards short, so they didn't have to go that far downfield. That ball was almost picked off. If that ball was thrown further downfield, now remember, it went across the field a long way. So it was well read and almost, at least knocked down, if not picked off on that. When you start jumping routes, you can get those interceptions, but you got to be careful with jumping routes because then, that can go all the way against you, like the first play, Armstrong. But I was surprised he didn't have over-the-top help on Armstrong on that pass.
That's been the matchup to watch on the bottom of your screen. Jaden Armstrong versus Josh Morgan. Armstrong in motion. This time he'll hand it right to Finnegan, and he is tackled in the backfield. Closing in to make another big tackle as he did last week, Mike Murphy of the Friars.
You can't help but say, you see why Fenwick is 2-0 this year. They're playing fabulously against a very, very strong team on both sides. It is good defense, even though they have scored twice, right? And obviously an offense has got the lead.
Pretty significant loss there behind the line. A 4-yard loss, so 2nd and 14 coming up for the Hilltoppers. Similik will run the play in from the sidelines.
And that's the trick. You can't, well, you can, but you can't really try to get all 14 yards at once. You're probably looking at a 7-yard pass and another 7-yard pass.
13-12, Fenwick leads. 2nd down for the Hilltoppers. Similik all the time in the world. Gets it to Finnegan, passes a bit too high. Finnegan cannot hold on, incomplete.
Yeah, that's tough. He threw kind of a frozen rope high over the head. Those are hard to catch, right? I mean, if you throw it right in his gut or something like that, it's an easier catch. So I'd have to say that would look like one of Williams' overthrows.
Bears fans, it's okay. Caleb's going to get better, I promise. So 3rd down here for the Hilltoppers. Impressive work by their offensive line, headed by senior Connor Hoyt. This is a line that gave Similik a lot of time there, and so far in this one. Similik drops back, pressure's coming. He'll air it out downfield. Underthrown, almost with an impressive one-handed catch is Joliet. Pass ball is incomplete. A flag is thrown, almost certainly going to be defensive pass interference, afflicting Fenwick.
Yeah, you can see that happening. He was beaten on the play. The ball was still a little bit underthrown. That might have been the saving grace. Now, if he had turned around before he caught it, he might have, bounced off his, shoulder or something like that. But no, instead he chose, he's going to catch it. I'm going to push him. And that push prevented him from catching the ball. And of course, in high school, it's not a spot foul. So, I mean, coaches will tell you in high school, if you're going to get burned over the top for a touchdown, man, knock him over, take the penalty. And he did. But it does mean the first down, and Joliet Catholic still has the ball. Now, we were talking earlier, they needed those 2 7-yard passes for a first down. They didn't get the first one, so they had to go for it, and they got it.
Fresh set of downs. Joliet Catholic on their own 44-yard line. Perhaps settling into their offensive scheme. Similik gives left. Couple yard gain before the Fenwick secondary chops Finnegan down.
Yeah, again, the ground game is as good as Joliet Catholic is. It's going up against a very stingy defense. We talked about the opponent's points before, remember? Fenwick has only given up 14 points. That's not very many going into the 3rd game here. I guess the quarter ended. That felt like it went fast, didn't it?
It was an eventful first quarter for sure. 4 touchdowns, 2 from each team, 3 missed extra points, but Fenwick is on top right now. 13-12, the Friars lead. You're watching Illinois High School football here on SBS.
Welcoming your guests is easy and secure. when someone rings the video doorbell? You can control everything right on your phone and go back to enjoying the rest of your warm summer days. Take control with a video doorbell from Forest Security.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always...
Back at Triton College, second quarter beginning here. Fenwick leads Joliet Catholic 13-12. Joliet Catholic near midfield, 2nd and 7. Fenwick gives it up the gut. They're going to keep it with Finnegan, but that Fenwick defense says no can do. Jake Thies making the tackle.
Right in the the helmet and the shoulder pads, knocked him back. That's what you're supposed to do, third and long enough, right? So which is going to put Joliet Catholic again in a passing situation. So play action is not going to work here. And of course, if it's running for 8 yards, you're not going to get it. Now the good side is you're at midfield, so if you get close to the first down marker, maybe you can think about running a second time. So run's not out of the question here. It's just tough. Now what I always like to do is play accountant here with my math major background, right? You take the 13-12 after 1 quarter and you multiply it by 4, and I think we got a 52-48 win coming.
Regardless of what happens in the future, it's 3rd and 7 right now. Friar fans on their feet. Play action. We have a flag thrown. Simlick rolls to his left. And he throws it way past, maybe just throwing it away. It looked like perhaps Jaden Armstrong moving in motion was moving forward before the ball was snapped, Bob.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You got to time that, right? And I think he just took 1 step too soon across towards the line, and that's all it takes. This is not the Canadian Football League where you have 1 or 2 people running at the line of scrimmage. So they'll decline it. That's what the bench is saying, right? So it's going to be 4th and 8. I would expect the punting unit to come on, and here it comes out.
And you're exactly right. Fenwick head coach Matt Battaglia declines the penalty. And Joliet Catholic, although they were aggressive early on 4th down, I think this one's a little too close to home to try risking it and give Fenwick great field position.
Yeah, this is one of those games. It's a close game. I mean, it might be a high-scoring game. It may be 13-12 going into the 4th quarter because both defenses are going to adjust as the game goes on. You don't want to give the other team a short field, especially a good team. So punt it away, not over your head.
High snap received. Low kick almost hits one of the coverage men. That might have been a low kick, but it's rolling all the way inside the Fenwick 10-yard line.
How about that? That's going to look great in the stats, that kind of a punt, right? But yeah, you're right. He almost called a dodgeball on the receiver going downfield, or the defender going downfield.
Swinging his leg at that ball on the punt there, Riker Chubik, the sophomore, he's listed as a linebacker and tight end, but he used all 6 feet 2 inches of him to put an excellent punt there for the Hilltoppers.
I was going to say he used his tight end skills to catch that ball that was really kind of over his head. But you could say he didn't panic, but maybe he did a little bit. That's why the line drive kicked. But boy, that was a great favorable roll. So Fenwick, a long way to go, 95-ish yards.
Yep, I was going to say we've had a lot of momentum shifts here. If Fenwick can find a way to score all the way back up against their old goal line, it could be big. Run pass option. Williams complete to the left, speeding through a quick hole and nearly getting to the first down line. That is number 14. Of Fenwick, Cam Garrett with his first catch of the night.
I really like that play design, right? The fake up the middle, right? And then the receiver is just waiting right there on the side. And it was a good throw, 8-yard gain. You keep doing that the whole game.
Williams looks like the same play again. Garrett will catch. This time does have the yardage to gain. First down, Friars.
I think every football fan watching a football game on TV or something always wonders, why don't they just run the same play? It worked. Keep running the same play until they stop it. It's the same formation.
Certainly embodying that Fenwick fast motto that Coach Battaglia has for this offense. They'll look to the sideline and receive instruction from their head coach. Nothing but spread right now. Williams in the backfield with Jake Thies. Fakes to Thies. Pocket collapsing. Williams steps out, gets out of trouble, up yard, spin move, and dives to the 30. And how about that? Getting out of harm's way, but also getting a first down there. Jamin Williams.
Yeah, and that spin move got him. If he didn't spin, he gets tackled, right? But he not only spun, he spun with strength. When you do that, you spin, you lean forward, and you keep pushing with your legs, and it's a hard tackle to make. First down.
Williams is as good with his arm as he is with his feet. We saw it there, and we'll probably see it again. The field general for Fenwick was at the helm last year, got injured middle of the season, and has been saying he cannot wait to get back out in the field, and I think he's really showing that passion tonight. Williams again.
Holding.
Flag in the backfield. Williams throws, and it's dropped. Cam Garrett almost had his third catch on this drive, and with that flag in the offensive backfield, it sure looks like offensive holding.
Yeah, we haven't seen the preliminary call yet. Probably holding. Yep, there it is. So it'll be either 1st and 20 or 2nd and 10. If you're like at third down or something like that, you might decline it to give them one chance to get those 10 yards. But being a first down play, they'll take it. They're pushing them back. So it'll be 1st and 20, similar to before when it was, 2nd and 14. You know, you want to get those 2 7-yard passes. Here you're in like 3 7-yard pass zones. And what I like is they're on the left side of the field. So again, if you roll right with a very fast quarterback, obviously you can get those 7 yards a couple of times.
And so somebody big we haven't mentioned, but we saw him have a big impact there. Big number 99 for Joliet Catholic. Ian Campbell, the Navy commit, almost got in there. Reverse play. Josh Morgan has a full head of steam on the right. Cuts upfield. Makes up the yardage from the offensive holding and then some. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Fenwick after some trickeration.
That was a nice play. Okay, now they got effectively like a 1st down and 2 gain, right? But now 2nd and 8, that was a big chunk to get back. They ran to the right side of the field, right? So let's see if they run back toward the left side of the field on this play. So on 3rd down, they can pick it up with a throw to the right.
And that time going away again, number 99 for Joliet Catholic, Ian Campbell, the Navy commit, 37 tackles, 8 sacks last season. He's planning on playing both ways a little more frequently this year. He's going to get maybe some looks at tight end, which, guy that big, that's pretty scary for a defense to handle.
Well, and he flashed his speed there, too.
2nd and 7. It's time Williams gives. It's Jake Thies. He's bouncing outside. A lot of daylight in front of him. Doesn't look like the Hilltoppers will catch him. Jake Thies, goodbye. Touchdown, Friars. We said the Thies brothers would be huge for this Fenwick team. And Jake Thies himself, a pick 6 and a run of about 60 yards. What can you say about this Fenwick offense right now, Bob?
Well, right now, as good as Thies is, I want to give the credit to the offensive coordinator on that. They ran to the right, to the wide side of the field, created the space on the left side, and then the reverse going back. Well, actually, he was running up the middle, but then broke it out wide. So the defenders wanted to stop him in the middle of the field. He went wide left. So Fenwick could not be utilizing the sidelines any better than that.
We have our field reporter Ryan Haywood up here with us, joining us in a moment. But first, we're going to see Noah Sir's extra point. Snap good. A blocked extra point for the 2nd time tonight. Fenwick did make the extra point before, so they're still up 7. It's 19-12. A lot going on down in the field, Ryan. What can you tell us?
Yeah, a lot has happened since I've been back up here, but I can tell you this much. Defensive coordinator John Grayson, we talked to him in the pregame saying we have to be tight on defense, and he's telling his guys, why can't we block? Of course, they were good enough to stop a couple 2-point conversions. They're up 7. There's a lot going on the sidelines. Jake Thies also saying this isn't good enough. Of course, he's just got a touchdown just now. Keep an eye on Fenwick. This is a offensive coach versus defensive coach situation. This is battle of the brains right now, just as much as it is battle of the bronze on the field.
Ryan Haywood, everybody, thanks so much, Mr. Haywood. We'll be speaking to him shortly again, I'm sure. So 19-12. We kind of talked pregame about this might actually be a sneaky offensive explosion of a game. I guess we were right, Bob. What's going on out there?
Yeah, right. We're heading still toward 52-48, right? No, nice kick. Is going to make it? Yep.
Touchback for Joliet Catholic.
Now, I'm struck, they missed another extra point. Again, every point matters. We talked about that sooner, right? But 19-12 is way different than 20-12, right? 8 points. Now you got to go for 2 and tie it, which is far more difficult than kicking that 1 extra point. So that 1 point conversion that was blocked yet again at this point in time in the game allows a 7-point lead. So Joliet Catholic with the ball, they're still only down by 1 score, right? And an extra point, which is different than 1 score and a 2-point conversion.
And real quickly with another report, Ryan Haywood, what do you got for us, Ryan?
Hey guys, keep an eye on quarterback for JCA, senior QB number 11, Lucas Similik. He slammed his helmet on the sideline. He was consoled by some of his guys, so keep an eye on the mental game. Could be something of interest here as we head on to the rest of the game.
See, that's the kind of stuff we love. That's why we put you on the field to see that kind of stuff, right? We didn't see that, but it's good to know. And sometimes when you get into players' heads, if that's what's really going on, of course, I guess he's taking his head out of the helmet, right? But when you get into players' heads like that, right, you never know. I mean, will the player play better, or does that get worse? And then your teammates see that. So that's the kind of stuff we love that you bring back to us. Thanks very much.
Ryan Haywood, our field reporter, and he talks about Lucas Similik. He's been great today, minus the one interception. I think that was his one mistake. You want to see that sort of passion from your quarterback, though, but you don't want it to get out of hand. He's under center right now. Let's see what Similik does here. Fakes the reverse, will go left with it. Much better run for Finnegan. He's brought down just short of the line to gain. I like 3rd and 2.
Yeah, I like the misdirection on that, right? So Fenwick obviously pursues very, very well. With the 3 linemen, they're down, right? Then the 4 linebackers pursue, and of course the secondary. So if you start doing that misdirection stuff, and they were also misdirecting to the wide side of the field, you got to protect that side of the field. Ended up with a pretty good gain out of it.
Now that run game looks good because they misdirection. We'll see if JCA sticks with it here. Handoff straight ahead to Finnegan. He breaks through. First down for the Hilltoppers, looking to string together some sort of offense after that explosive first quarter and back and forth action.
I like how Finnegan fell forward. He knew he needed 3 yards. I think he knew he got the 3 yards, right? But when you get tackled, especially by the feet, and you're going to be close to the first down marker, you fall forward to get the rest of the 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 feet by falling forward. That was one of those big plays, those little big plays in the midst of a game. If they got knocked back and it was like 4th and 5, they would have had to punt. They're only down a score and only down by that one interception.
Looking to keep it on the ground. This time they'll go play action. Similik looking. Fires over the middle. He's got a man open. Through the hands of Jaden Armstrong, who almost had his 3rd touchdown because, Bob, nobody was catching him in that secondary.
I thought he had it. It almost looked like he caught it in his hands, and just when he tried to clap his hands together, they were just clapped, not at the same time. But, yeah, he was gone. What I'm also struck on that, there was time in the pocket, right? And so that play was kind of a slow developing play. It was like kind of a hitch and go downfield. You don't see downfield hitch and goes very often, but that's what created the space. Perfectly thrown ball. I mean, you can't catch everything.
I think it just shows the trust that this JCA coaching staff has in their offense right now, is be able to air something out like that. So 2nd and 10. Similik throws out to the right. Another dangerous pass, but put it perfectly in the window. Number 8, Michael Brown, I believe, has his 2nd catch of the night.
Well, and that's what any scout looks for, NFL, college, or whatever. You got to be able to throw that ball on a frozen rope to the sidelines, because you're only throwing the ball downfield 3 or 4 yards, but you're throwing the ball across field 20 and 30 yards. So that's a nicely thrown ball. You got to make sure though that inside defender, a cornerback or the safety, isn't checking down into that pass. But when and if they do, that's when you do the double moves on the side and go deep.
It's those sneaky defensive schemes that perhaps cost Joliet Catholic 6 points in this one on the pick 6. Similik fakes the pitch, end around, far side of the field. Fenwick brings him down about a yard short. It'll be 4th and 1 coming up in decision time for Coach Jaworski of JCA.
And that's the thing. We're just broadcasting this, right? We don't have to make this decision. So we don't have to say what we think they should do, but the coaching staff is going to make a very crucial decision. Again, when we talk about little big plays, this is a big play early on, right? You give up the ball down 7. Now you could go down 2 scores if you don't make this a short field. Or if you hold on to the ball with only 5 minutes to go, you can eat the rest of the quarter and score, and they are going for it.
36 inches separate the ball and the first down. 4th and 1. Finnegan straight ahead. His teammates think he's got it. Referee spot does indicate that. So to be a fresh set of downs for the Hilltoppers. Close call there, Bob.
It was, and the question is, did he really make it? But what happens in high school is if you get close to the first down marker, they generally give it to you. Now, it's a closer game. Maybe they'll spot it a little bit tighter, right? But generally in high school games, you get it close to that first down marker, they'll go ahead and give you the first down. And now I'm not saying that was a give me first down kind of a thing by the referees, but that was absolutely stopped cold right at the marker.
Strength against strength. This time JCA out on top, but they have a lot more work to do. Under 5 minutes left in the first half. Fenwick leads 19-12. Similik, shotgun. 5-step drop in the snap. Airs out over the middle of the field. Intercepted! Running it back for Fenwick. This time it is Tommy Thies. Flags fly at the end of the play, but I believe as of right now, no matter what those flags are, Fenwick comes up with another big-time turnover.
That flag came on the return, so it's going to stay Fenwick's ball, but that's 2 interceptions that went downfield. Now, I have to say, though, on that play, what looked to me like, and I didn't catch the number, right, but Joliet Catholic absolutely ran over one of the defenders, yet you would have thought then the quarterback would see that and throw it to that receiver. Instead, he threw it kind of into the middle. It was intercepted. Flag comes out. Fenwick's ball. It's backing it up, though.
And so I believe you're right. Some sort of personal foul on the return, maybe a block in the back or a clipping of some sort. The yardage is important, of course, but the matter of the fact is another huge defensive play from Fenwick, and both the turnovers have come from the Thies brothers. The first one, Jake Thies, that time Tommy Thies, who I incorrectly said made the first one, comes up big there.
Well, you're turning out to be a soothsayer here, right? You said the Thies brothers would be big, and they're both big. It's not just one; they are both big. Now, I think you said earlier one's going to Miami, and the other one is still undecided, right?
Correct. Yeah, Tommy is committed to the University of Miami, Ohio. Fair amount of Division I commits on the field right now. They're not worried about that. They're worried about the game in front of them. 1st and 10 for Fenwick. Jamin Williams eluding pressure. Escaping to his right.
There's a flag
has to throw that one away.
Yeah.
A flag flies in the offensive backfield, Bob.
Yeah, so this is going to be 1st and 20 probably. Probably holding. There's the preliminary signal. It is holding. So it'll be 1st and 20, up 7 with 4.5 to go. So Fenwick's also thinking not just we want to score. Of course they are, right? But they want to do some clock management. So when they score, there's no time left for Joliet Catholic to have the ball.
Clock management, so important in the sport of football. We even see professional coaches botch it all the time. See if Matt Battaglia keeps that in mind as he goes first down, 4.5 minutes to go in the first half.
A professional coach like Eberflus would never let that happen, would he?
Oh, you're giving Bears fans nightmares in this broadcast, Bob.
That's the legal procedure. That'll come back 5 more yards.
A little too excited to move. Wide receivers on both sides for the Friars. So instead of 1st and 20, looks like a long 25.
That really is. That's like a country mile. So what do you do? 4:20 something, right? So run a couple of times, eat some clock. Probably not going to get a first down. It looks like a timeout got called here. I think that's appropriate. 1st and 25, call timeout and settle first your team down. You've got 2 big-time penalties right in a row. One was unsportsmanlike conduct. Here, it looked like it was the wrong cadence by the quarterback because multiple receivers crossed the line on that.
So Fenwick, they're calling their second timeout of the first half. They have 1 remaining. On the flip side, Joliet Catholic, 2 timeouts. They took one earlier to get their offense set up themselves. How does that play into what they're going to do if they get the ball back in the first half?
Well, that's the thing. It does have an effect, right? So you cannot call those timeouts either to get the ball back. Let's say somebody has the ball and there's a minute to go. You can't call 3 timeouts to get the ball back. So it changes things. It happens in the last 2 minutes. But I've always felt like as a coach that it's worth it to use the timeouts when you need them. And if you don't have one at the end of a half, well, that's just, unfortunately, that's how the ball bounces.
So 1st and 25.
So I would expect some kind of a screen pass here, a short pass, just to complete something to gain some yards.
Jamin Williams alone in the empty set. Quick pass does go to Tommy Thies. He's got daylight up the middle. Breaks a couple tackles, falls forward to about the 33-yard line, makes second down a little more manageable for the Friar offense.
Yeah, but that's a fantastic 1st down and 25-yard play call. Just a little slant over the middle. There was no middle linebacker waiting for it. So, continued to run, got about, 13 of those 15 yards back. So even though it's 2nd and 12, it's still 2nd and long. Run that play again, right?
Fenwick back in the shotgun. They'll play fast. This time, kept it on the read option was Williams, but that defensive front just walled him down. Maybe got a yard there to make it 3rd and 11 or so.
And another one of those little big plays here. Okay, we got 3.5 minutes to go. Clock is running. If you make a first down, you have a chance to score before the half. If you don't make the first down, you cannot go for 4th down in your own end zone, or your own end of the field. So look for a punt if they don't get the first down.
I was about to say that the clock is running as we're 3:23 left, but I think Joliet Catholic sensing that and maybe want to give themselves a bit more chance, take their second time out of the half.
Yeah, I'm wondering, a few things. Why did they do that? Okay, settle down the defense, wrong defense called for the play. But you know what else? Joliet Catholic had a player still running off the field, and it just looked like that snap was going to go. So I think that call was a timeout from the sideline that said, let's not get a 5-yard penalty here. And right now, so the coaching staff is thinking a 5-yard penalty is worth the timeout. Now, I can't say for sure that was happened. I mean, we're only 6,000 yards away from it, but that's what it looked like to me.
Now Fenwick here, they would have the chance to still go down and score. They have a timeout. They got 3.5 minutes. A long third down stands in the way of them there, Bob. What do you think Fenwick pulls out of the bag here?
I think they're going to pass and try to get that first down. If they don't get the first down, they're going to hope that their defense stops Joliet Catholic from, from going, 60 yards the other direction. That's going to be encroachment. They'll get 5 yards back.
Indeed, the side judge indicates it will be 5 yards. And the offsides penalty, encroachment, one of those 5 yards against the defense. Either way, Fenwick's all the happier. Only 3rd and 5 now on this big play late in the first half.
Yeah, that's actually a big 5-yard pickup. Now you only got to get 5 yards for the first down, which is a short pass, far less chance for an interception than having to get all 10 yards at a very important juncture in the game.
So another hard count from Fenwick, maybe trying to make all 10 yards of the line to gain up with penalty yardage, but we'll settle back in the shotgun. It's Tommy Thies to Williams' right. Fake to Thies, wants to air it out. Man downfield, underthrown ball. Flag is thrown. Pass interference looks to be called against number 21 of the Hilltoppers. That was Kai Nathaniel in coverage.
Well, you've seen that a couple of times, though. The receiver's going to go for a touchdown, right? Now, that was underthrown, so probably wouldn't have been a touchdown. At the same time, jumped up, essentially face guarded the receiver. Absolutely pass interference, knocked, pushed it in the receiver, and the ball hit him on the backside.
It's so tremendous how many weapons that Fenwick has out wide. We already talked about the Thies brothers who have gotten the board themselves, but Cam Garrett's gotten his name in the book. Josh Morgan's a great two-way player. Will Tomzak. And that's not even the intended target right there, Raphael Stewart, who has a 60-yard reception already in this one. This time it's 1st and 10, fresh set of downs, out wide, Tommy Thies. Can he set the edge? Great open field tackle, that time chopping him down for a loss. It's number 20 of the Hilltoppers, Cohen Lyons.
It was a great tackle. It was great in open field, but that was caused because he was getting chased full speed. So it's easier to tackle a guy running at full speed sideways than a guy going slower, because then you can speed up or slow down. But when you're going full speed, you kind of know exactly where that guy's going to be when you go to tackle him. So that was really nice defense there.
2nd and 11, Fenwick more than happy to sit on this clock a little bit. 2:40 remaining in the half. They still lead by a touchdown.
It goes back to that clock management, right? Whether you score or don't score, you don't want to leave any time on the clock for Joliet Catholic. And if you go into the locker room 1 score ahead or 2, well, I mean, you'd like to have 2, but you don't want them to tie it up.
Williams gets the play, maybe took too long. Let's see what this call is. A false start penalty against Fenwick. I didn't see any movement, Bob. Did you?
No, I did not. I was all in on your, delay of game. But yeah, and I didn't see the offense move anywhere. But obviously, that 6,000 yards away from it, prevents us from seeing everything, right?
Do you think that the pace of play that the Friar offense plays with maybe can factor into some of those false start penalties with those guys raring to go?
Oh gosh, absolutely right.
Williams, pressure, escapes. Stepping up, going out to the far sideline, and somehow getting out of that mess of a pocket. Jamin Williams, another impressive run.
No matter what sport you play, if you are unpredictable, it's hard to defend. So if you snap it early or snap it late, sometimes early and sometimes late, it really is difficult to time that, right? But if you're always snapping it on one, or whatever the call is going to be, or whatever the count is going to be, it's easy to predict when the snap is going to happen.
So Tommy Thies checks out. His brother Jake Thies now in the backfield on this 3rd and 9 chance for the Friars. 3 wide receivers to the left of Williams.
Interesting, they pinched him in a little bit.
Williams will drop back to pass. Blitz is in his face. Quickly dumps it off over the middle of Thies. And he's brought down, but he reached the line to gain. It's a fresh set of downs for the Friars.
That was one of the most intelligent passes in high school we've seen in a long time. He was blitzed. He's almost falling backwards already before that ball goes. He has to have a check down receiver, so you have to know which receiver is your check down on the blitz. And he found it wide open. It was a good gain. Good time to blitz, too. I mean, if you can push Fenwick out of field goal range or for, 2nd and 20 or something, but here, what a great pass with defense in his face.
Yeah, Jamin Williams certainly showing maturity as a pass thrower this year. I think a lot of times last year we saw him go to his feet, but how big time of a play is that with that rush in your face, getting it done and getting the first down?
Well, and that's it, one of those little big plays, right?
Jamin wants to go deep as a target far side. Bit too far out of bounds.
Yeah, this is another thing you always wonder. You throw it that direction. What you're really trying to do is you're trying to complete it to the receiver away from the defender. If that carries the ball out of bounds, so be it. But what you don't want to do is throw the ball inbounds in such a way that the defender can get it. So and sometimes that's why quarterbacks just end up throwing it out of bounds. They're not really looking at the boundary. They're looking at what do I got to do so my receiver can catch it without it being stopped.
Well said, Bob. Intended target there, Will Tomczak, another one of those dangerous wideouts that Fenwick uses in the spread offense. Keeping on the ground this time, it's Jake Thies. Cut right, went up in the middle, and a nice 8-yard run, quietly setting up Fenwick to maybe do some damage right at the end of the half.
Yeah, now you got to get the first down here. There's a minute 10. You only got, one timeout left. So, but I would, think about going to the ground, get the first down. But you only got one timeout here to stop the clock to still score. But then at that point, you can take 3 cracks into the end zone. Or, a sideline pass and kick a field goal. After all, you got one of the best kickers there is.
Having Noah Sir is certainly so valuable for this Fenwick team. They may use him here, but 3rd and short. Fenwick taking their time on this one a little bit, and now Battaglia will call timeout for his team. 41 seconds remaining on the first half clock, so maybe get his guys a fresh start here, maybe give them a drink of water, a bit of a rest. What do you do here on 3rd down, Bob?
Well, 3rd and short, and it's 41 seconds to go, and you can't complete anything over the middle. The clock stops for the first down. If you get the first down stopped, you might get a play out of that. At that point, though, you got to continue to throw the ball into the end zone. So I think what I'd like to see are those down hitch type plays or a double move, something where the other team thinks you're going to throw it short too, so that you get the first down, the clock stops. But then you fake that and you go downfield, you can score on one play. So I think that's what I would be doing on offense. I don't think I would run it here, even if you get the first down. If you don't get the first down, it's almost over.
And this Fenwick team showing some resiliency early. They're kind of in unfamiliar territory. Week 1, that win against DePaul Prep. The game finished 40-14. Fenwick was up 33-0 at halftime. Then, of course, last week, the East Avenue showdown against rival Oak Park River Forest. 35-0 victory. They have themselves in a bit of a dogfight here, Bob.
Oh, well, both teams are good. We knew this was going to happen. This is the kind of game that you see flashed on the local newspapers. What top 5 games in the area.
3rd and 2. Williams out wide. Raphael Stewart breaks a tackle. And we'll get to about the 17-yard line. A gain of about 5, but all that matters, it's enough to move the chains.
And the clock still stopped. There it goes.
Now Fenwick really playing fast. That timeout really reset them. Ball is snapped quick. Jamin Williams all the time in the pocket. Now has to escape, and he's brought down in the backfield for the first time of the evening.
That's not going to help. They got about 17 seconds or something to spike the ball. And the problem with that, too, is receivers have to come all the way back from in the end zone. Looks like they're going to get one spike and then one play.
They're not even going to spike this, Bob. They're going to line up and kick this ball right then and there. Special teams unit out. Sir's going to kick it. Got it. And Sir is on the money. Bit of a bold decision to not spike it and run your special teams unit out there, Bob. But it pays off with 3 points, and now this is a 2-possession game.
I am shocked beyond belief that they were able to get the field goal unit in like that while the clock was running, time running out. I absolutely would have clocked the ball and with no time, right? But what a great play, great kick. And again, this is why he's going to Northwestern. So we got a 22-12 lead, 10 points, 2 scores at halftime, and boy, this is a great game.
You said it, Bob. Yeah, we're going to have a lot more action coming up soon here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Stick with us, folks.
Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Welcome back to Triton College in beautiful River Grove, Illinois. We've got quite the football game going on here, folks. Fenwick leads Joliet Catholic 22-12 in what was a just back and forth, pinball, whatever you want to call it first half, Bob. It's been a whole lot of action so far.
Yeah, yet at the same time, I still feel like this game could go either way. You know, you want to say it's a safe 10-point lead, but, 22-12 is not a safe lead, right? It's just one score, then you get the ball back, you score again. This can go either way. This is one of those games that, if you're watching it on television or something, you tune in and you're like, I'd like to see a Joliet Catholic comeback. I mean, we don't want to see it, but I can see how somebody would want to see that happen, right? And unless Fenwick continues to extend the lead, it could be one of those whoever holds the last in the fourth quarter kind of wins the game. This 10-point lead is anything but safe. Now, here's what's fun. You got two good teams, right? So what they do is they go into halftime and they make the adjustments that they need to make. So the trick is, do we know what they're going to do, or if we predict what they're going to do we actually indeed see it? But we were talking earlier, the last time that Joliet Catholic was 0-3 was 8 years ago? That's a tall order. I mean, I'm sure Joliet Catholic went into this game thinking, no panic. We win this game. We're 1-2. We're still in the hunt. But 0-3 against the tough competition that they play might not go well.
Very signifying of the pedigree of team that faces the Fenwick Friars right now. Some stats on how we got here in the first half. Quarterback Jamin Williams of Fenwick, 7 completions, 9 attempts, 106 yards. He started the scoring off for the Friars with a quarterback sneak touchdown. Fenwick got on the board. Jake Thies twice, first with a pick six and then a 65-yard touchdown run. Noah Serves field goal as time expired, put them at 22. And for the Hilltoppers, Jaden Armstrong with a touchdown catch and a touchdown rush. Lucas Sivelnick for the Hilltoppers, 2 interceptions so far. Gonna need to see some better play from him if the Hilltoppers want to pull this one out. They will start with the ball as we continue the action from Triton College. Sarah boots it away.
Well, this one didn't get out of the end zone for a change, right?
We're going to go ahead and start the second half off. Ryan Haywood, field reporter.
Yeah, hey guys, very interesting at the end of the first half. I was right in front of the officials and head coach Matt Battaglia for Fenwick, trying to figure out some non-calls going on. And this has been a trend in the first quarter as well as the second quarter. And I was just keeping note, and I was asking the coaching staff, hey, what's going on here? And they described it to me as strategy. So something to keep an eye on as we go into the rest of the game. But as you guys mentioned, a very close battle. Running back and DB for Fenwick, Tommy Thies' left arm was very bloody. He is good to go, but it just shows you the type of grit and the grudge match we find ourselves in, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Thank you, Ryan Haywood. Once again, great reporting. And as we see Joliet Catholic with a second and short here, Bob, I will say I got to talk to Tommy Thies after the 35-0 win against OPRF last week. And even the game had been over for 20, 30 minutes. That young man is intense. I think we see it here tonight.
Well, it does pay off. I'm intrigued by the bloody arm. You're playing on turf here, so you get tackled and you scrape on the arm. That can easily happen if somebody falls on the turf right there.
We talk about the turf, and then getting tripped up in the backfield by that turf monster is Finnegan.
That turf monster exists everywhere, doesn't it, right? Anyway, so it was second and relatively short, but lost a couple yards there, so you got a little ways to go here, 3rd and 5. And again, not to dwell on this, but those little big plays, you're in one right here. You're down 2 scores. Now you're not down 1 score. You punted away, you're down to score maybe, right? You're down 2 scores. You don't make a first down here. At some point in time, it's going to be 4 down territory the whole entire game.
JCA wanting to put points back in the board. Fenwick would love a 3-and-out. Sivelnick takes the snap and rolls right. Flag thrown in the backfield. Sivelnick will run it, and it's brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Let's see what that flag is. I'm imagining it's going to go against the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, it's got to be holding because that's where the flag was thrown. So it's going to be either declined and then the 4th and 5, where they'll take the penalty and push them back 10 and 3rd and 15. I think I'd be inclined to decline it, make it 4th down, forces the punt. And here comes the punting unit. Because they can't afford to go 4th and 5 and not make it on a short field down 2 scores. Trouble is, Fenwick gets the ball and they get one of those long gainers, and they're not putting it, even if it's 29 to 12, it's not out of range yet, but that's a big number to overcome.
Yeah, you called it how it is, Bob. Riker Chubik out there to punt for JCA. The Friars forcing a 3-and-out.
Good punt.
Chubik gets it to about midfield. We'll see if this one rolls like his last one. And it is down at about Fenwick's 46. Number 8, Michael Brown down there with the coverage.
So up 10 with the ball relatively midfield. Now the clock management, we've talked about this before the half happened, was magnificent, right? They got the kickoff. It surprised the heck out of me that they didn't spike it and then bring the kicker in, but they did. Pro teams and college teams can't get the kicker while the clock is running sometimes, and they did here. I mean, it goes to show not only a good kicker, right, but very well coached team that they had the kick, the field goal unit ready to go like that while the clock was running.
Matt Battaglia's team takes the field on offense. Jamin Williams will take it in the RPO, slings it out wide. Defensive secondary read it all the way. No gain for the Friars.
And it's not over yet, but if you go 3-0, what a win this is to put on your resume before the end of the season. I mean, this is the kind of win that you look at and say, how far can we go? I mean, this is really the real deal of the team. Joliet Catholic is not an easy win to get.
And once again, Joliet Catholic making it to the state title game in each of the last 2 seasons. State runner-ups in the last pair of years. Jamin Williams looks to the sideline to get the play call. That last pass caught by Cam Garrett for no gain, 2nd and 10.
Now, I'm not saying slow the game down, but the clock ticks in Fenwick's favor.
Williams in the pocket, uncorks one, downfield's got a man, just over the hands, number 10, Will Tomczak, the intended receiver. Do you like that play call, Bob, trying to really get it going early in the second half?
Well, it's not only, by absolutely a great play call. It's not only that it wasn't completed, though. What that does is that stretches the defense. It also scares the bejeebers out of the defensive backs and the safety and the coaching staff, because if that goes in for a third score lead, that hurts, right? So now the defenders have to play off the receivers a little bit, and the short passes work. The clock runs, tick, 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 you're down by points. So that was a great time for that long shot, and it was thrown inbounds, we might add.
Jamin Williams trying to keep the defense honest there. We'll see if they keep it through the air on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the long pass going out of bounds. You're throwing it to the receiver. Well, he threw it to the receiver right at the sideline. If it was caught, it would have been in, and it was perfectly thrown.
This time, Jake Thies the back on Williams' left. 3 receivers to his left. He'll fake, have to step up to escape pressure, dumps it off to Thies. And he's tackled for maybe a yard gain, but this one's probably coming back too.
I didn't see it. There's more laundry on the field.
There was a flag thrown on the play at about the 45-yard line. Let's see what the head official has to say.
Well, no wonder I couldn't see it. It must be dirty by now. It's on the field too long.
A holding penalty is the call. The defense of the Hilltoppers will decline. So 4th and long, Fenwick has no choice but to punt it away.
So all that happened there was just a bunch of clock got taken off. Both teams had a possession. Some clock went down, and Joliet Catholic is going to have another chance, down 10.
After that offensive outburst in the first half and that first quarter, really, the second half starts off to be more of a rock fight. Noah Sir back to punt for the Friars.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be 52-48, right? Oh, fake? Nope, there it goes.
Sir takes his time, sends a wobbly one through the air, goes short and to the right, and actually bounces forward to benefit Joliet. And batting that one to down it is Thies at about the 40-yard line. So pretty solid field position when it comes to what Joliet Catholic was faced with just a few moments ago.
So this is their second possession of the half. Went nowhere on the first possession. But again, you're only down 10. I don't want to say you can smell it in the air, but you just feel like Joliet Catholic is going to close the gap somehow in this game. And like I said, it's going to be a close one at the end is what I'm projecting. We'll see what happens. And the adjustments at halftime are so important. Let's see what they do different this half now. Maybe perhaps more running, less passing.
Starting off in the I formation. Up the middle, this time for JCA Craig Peacock, but he is stopped right where he got the ball.
Yeah, and if you're going to go to more running instead of passing, well, Fenwick can stop those plans pretty quick with 2 or 3 stops, and you got to punt again.
Yeah, that defensive front has been mentioned multiple times by you tonight, yeah. Bob. I'm seeing that's number 90 up front, Zakomo Mbewe, and 2 others that have really been shoring up the interior for the Friar defense.
Yeah, they just have a history of that 3-down lineman of being very good at stopping the run. You wouldn't expect it because you're looking at 5 or 6 blockers, and they still stop the carrier.
Keeping it on the ground.
On cue.
Another rush for no gain, as we just talked about that Fenwick defensive front. Craig Peacock unable to find any room.
I think if you watch this game and if you want to do a scouting report kind of a thing, I think against Fenwick, you need to find a way to run wide, run action reverses. Yeah, and I don't want to be like continue to run across the field, but I think what you end up doing is you get those linemen tuckered out, right? Even though they can rotate players through, they get them tired, and then later in the game they can't pursue as well.
So after 2 plays showing run in the I formation, JCA splits it out wide, trips to Simmelnick's right. He takes the snap in the shotgun. Hesitates, now will step up and try to get it with his legs. He's met 2 yards short of the line of gain and pushed back. This Fenwick secondary is fierce, Bob.
Yeah, I do think, though, he had some room to run on the right if he had continued to run. Now, maybe he's not quite as fast as, let's say, Williams or something, right? But I felt like if he kept going, don't cut back. Now, he has stopped short. It looks like the punting unit is coming on. I'm not so sure. On 4th and 2, down 10, they might think this is the time to go for it. I don't think I would. I think I'd punt it away to keep, there's a lot of game to go. You don't have to pull the goalie at this point in time. Let's see what they do.
Simmelnick will run the play in. We said it was decision time.
Yeah, it's a big one.
4th down has not been kind to the Hilltoppers tonight, but now 2 yards separate them from extending this drive. They're packing in the line.
Run right.
Simmelnick, hands off. Joliet will not get the first down. Fenwick takes over on downs.
That was absolutely a huge play. I felt like if they ran up the middle or to the left, they're going nowhere. They had an advantage on the right side overload with the blockers. If you're going to take that play, you needed to go to the right. And that's something that the coaches need to see up in the press box. Now, the question is, once they saw that that play call and that defense, that would have been a good time to call timeout.
Anthony Finnegan, the back for the Hilltoppers, had kind of a tough night so far. That could have been a big run to really change the pace of this one. But right now, Fenwick gets the ball back, big defensive stop, and they're up 10.
The kids on the sideline here who are playing football on the track, they made a really nice catch and well defended.
The future of Friar football, maybe. We're seeing it right here in person. Williams takes the snap, hands off to Thies, breaks one tackle, evades another, real estate in front of him. Is Tommy Thies going to take it? Cut down at the 10-yard line. Great way to shed that block by the defensive back there. But point stands, Bob. It's 1st and 10 once again for these Friars.
Yeah, Akai Nathaniel was tied up and he was blocked, but he shed the block. And it's a good thing that Fenwick didn't hold that block, because then it would have been holding. You go back 15 yards. He made an excellent tackle, but 1st and 10, 1st and 8. I mean, this is trouble for Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, 1st and goal actually for Fenwick, even better.
Yeah, this is ill-advised non-punt.
Can Fenwick make them pay for it? Williams takes it himself on the read option. Will charge ahead for a pair of yards.
Yeah, he got smushed in the middle. I think maybe the right read on that was go ahead and run to the right. But that's that run option. You read what you want. You look. You're keying on a player, whoever it is, the linebacker, the nose tackle, something. If they go one way, you do the other. In that case, the read was run up the gut.
And so the back in there now. We saw Tommy Thies break off that run to put them in this great spot. It's Jake Thies in there alongside Williams. Will he get his 3rd touchdown of the night? Williams tosses. It's caught. Fenwick for 6. Number 13, Jonathan Pavilon puts 6 on the board for the Friars.
What a great pass over the middle. Again, the people that wonder, the defense, you don't want to stay behind the receiver. You want it to go over your head if he's going to catch it, not give him the whole breadbasket to put the ball in. So just wasn't covered well. Good pass. That's going to hurt. 28-12 now, probably 29 soon.
Fenwick loves those run-pass options, and when they have a man that open in the end zone, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was like a basketball player where you're shielding the guy behind you. You're screening them.
Noah Serra on for the extra point.
And he put that into the next county.
And like you said, Bob, yes, sir. 29-12. Fenwick leads with a little under 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. While we have you folks, Ryan Haywood, our field reporter, is going to give us another update.
Yeah, hey guys, injury update for the kicker punter for Fenwick, JP Bordeaux Walsh, out for the rest of this game with a knee injury. He is on the sideline icing it up. We hope he gets better soon. Certainly a bad hit he took in that 1st quarter. Otherwise, for JCA, head coach Jaworski commentating to the sideline to stay up, keep everything going, keep the hype going, keep the communication and the flow going to hype the guys. Still plenty of time left. Of course, not looking good, but of course, I will see you guys in the 4th.
Ryan Haywood, thank you once again. It's an important decision to make from Ryan. JP Bordeaux Walsh went down on that first botched extra point. So that's a new holder in there for Fenwick. We're going to have to keep track of who that is there, getting the ball down for Noah Sir.
Well, and that's difficult when players play multiple positions, but it's absolutely not uncommon to have a punter also be the holder, right? But yeah, you risk some injury, and you always have to have a backup option. Every now and then you see a linebacker or a tight end punting or kicking, and if an injury happens, now what do you do? Of course, I always joke about it. We'll raid the soccer team.
Talent can come from anywhere, especially when it comes to special teams. Now, JCA getting the ball back. Lucas Simelnick will try to lead this team to try and overcome the 17-point deficit they find themselves in. Do you come out playing fast, Bob, or do you kind of try to establish a couple first downs before you really let it fly?
Yeah, I'm that coach that I always like to, whatever the game plan is, you keep doing it. So if you want to keep, the defense off balance, continue to do that. So you don't change your game plan. I mean, adjust it at halftime, but not change it.
Simelnick will take it. All the time in the world. Will step up and run. Daylight to the middle. Maybe broke too hard on that cut.
It's that turf monster got him a second
Turf
time,
monster
right?
Defense, Liam Cahill was ready to make the hit up the middle if he stayed on his feet.
Maybe he saw that coming and decided, I think the turf monster is a better choice. But anyway, third? Second down.
Yeah, second down at about 6. Player coming off for JCA, that's number 58, Jack Lynch, the O-line who went down. Trainer's going to attend to him on the sidelines.
Yeah, the injury bug in a game like this, where everybody is so talented, fast, large, it's tough, and it changes the game outcomes too, depending on who gets hurt. I mean, even the kicker, instead of a 50-yard kick, it's squibbed to the 20 yards or something.
Fighting in those trenches is no easy task.
Yeah,
when those linemen go down, you know that they're hurt.
That's for sure. Nobody wants to come out of these games.
JCA back. Going to show the spread a little bit even more. Simelnick wants to throw over the middle and does. A bit low. A lot of Fenwick defenders surrounding that ball, Bob.
Well, and the reason for that was because there were 4 Joliet Catholic receivers all in the middle of the field. So I feel like the offense, if they used to run a lot, right, and now they pass a lot, I feel like the offensive coordinator should send the receivers to different locations. Now, a short, deep, and a medium receiver on the same side of the field or up the middle, maybe that's okay, right? But I felt like 2 came from the right and 2 came from the left. They converged in the middle. I don't think you can pick out the open player to throw it to as easily. I'd like to see somebody go sideline or deep, take a safety out of the play, something.
On their own side of the field, Joliet 3rd and 6. Simelnick's got to escape the pressure. Has time. Sidearm throw is caught over the middle. What a play there, and getting some yards after the catch. Number 8, Michael Brown, just an impressive pitch and catch there when they needed it most from the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, he went back across the middle. Now, why was he open, right? The 4 receivers on the field were all over the place. There was somebody deep, took the safety or 2 safeties out, right? There was a back that went off into the flat, who, by the way, was wide open if he wanted to pick up the first down there. Instead, I'm going to say it, he got greedy, but successfully greedy, throwing deep across the middle. But there's where the receivers are totally spread out and somebody was open.
A tremendous display of the arm talent Simelnick possesses. You see why the Hilltopper OC trusts him to go ahead and out there and fling that rock. Another lineman into the game for the Hilltoppers.
And we talked about that too. As the season wears on, the passing offense takes longer to come to fruition. So, and unfortunately, if they end up 0-3, it might be too late for that passing offense to come to fruition. But it is a change for them, and they're doing well. But they are playing against good teams. And Fenwick's defense just is shutting down the run, turning Joliet Catholic into a one-dimensional offense.
Right there, one of the few mistakes we've seen from Fenwick's defense. Offsides the call, so now 2nd and 5 as JCA makes their way into Fenwick's side of the field. Up ahead, Finnegan couldn't get through the interior, tried to bounce it out. The Friars were there to meet him.
That defensive line is just tremendous. So you're down 17. We were talking about it earlier. How do you get back in the game, right? Well, you kind of got to stay with what you know to do, right? One play at a time, move the chains, get a score. And then you get the football back, you got to stop the other team or get a punt or, interception, fumble, something. But it's a long road back to get to the 17 points.
Yeah, I misspoke. That was 1st and 5 there. So now 2nd and 4 after the 1-yard gain from Finnegan.
Well, we know what you meant.
He'll get the ball again. Left side carry. Gets about another yard. They're really trying to chip away at this Friar defense. But even in the short yardage situation, it's not coming up with anything big.
the play action pass would be something you would think would be in play here. 3rd and short, they're on the other side of midfield, so it's 2-down territory. But if you can do a play action, hold the linebackers and throw over them, send 3 receivers deep, left, right, and down the middle, and pick the one you like, that might be a good play call here. The long side of the field is where you want it, to the right. So things are looking good on this 3rd down play. Let's see what they do.
Once again, the crowd here, Triton College on their feet. Fake pitch to the left. Simmelnick feeling pressure, finds a man over the middle. Thrown to his backside, incomplete. 4th down coming up for the Hilltoppers. Big stop from Fenwick.
That was an excellent play call. Deep down the middle, was open. I think the receiver stopped or didn't. What really happened? He didn't pick up the ball. That's why it didn't look like he knew where it was. So maybe he needed to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. The receiver had to look back sooner. He was covered, but one-on-one, so it was a winnable catch. Now you're back to you need 3 yards. I'd run a similar kind of a pass. Go deep with a couple, 2 or 3 receivers. Have somebody cut across the middle. Let's see what they do. You can also run for it, and I mean quarterback run.
Fenwick's head coach, Matt Battaglia, firing up the crowd himself on the sidelines. 4th down, 3 yards to go. Simonic rolls right, looking. Finds a man in the end zone. Touchdown, Joliet Catholic. The 4th down play call, the gamble pays off. Michael Brown was there, beat his man deep, and now this is a much different ball game than it was even 30 seconds ago.
A play like that will drive defensive coordinators absolutely nuts. You're like, if you get the 3 yards, that's fine, but you go deep like that and you score a touchdown, we cannot have that. I think Lovie Smith is turning over in his grave on that. He was the cover 2 defense, right? He kept everything in front and went for turnovers. Did not like passes behind the safeties. What a great play. Pitch and catch, wide open.
Vinny DeNovo on to tack on the extra point, which has been troublesome for both teams tonight. A big one here to make it a 10-point game. And DeNovo punches it through easily. So now it's a 10-point game. And going back to that pass, Bob, I'm not really sure what was more impressive. I think just the throw from Simmelnick or the speed from Brown to get in that space in the end zone.
Well, in 2 plays in a row, they went downfield deep. So, there's a concern there if you're Fenwick. You're like, okay, it's only a 10-point game. We did not defend either pass very well downfield. What we got to do to win this game is let the plays unfold in front of you. Don't let anything big happen. You have an offense that's proven you can move the ball and use the clock. I mean, even though we're not in the 4th quarter, you would think, well, clock's not really a factor. It actually is. It's a 2-score game, and when you get the ball, you're going to eat up 3 or 4 or 5 minutes at least also. So you just don't want to give up the big plays. If Joliet Catholic's going to come back and win the game, they're going to have to win it with short stuff. And they've got a terrific defensive line, so they're not going to run for very far.
They're going to have to find a way to wear and tear down this Fenwick defense. A big play like that will do it, and I think that was one of the bigger momentum-shifting plays of the game. I felt like you could hear a pin drop on this Fenwick side after that big-time play. Yeah, huge, from 17 points to 10 points in a flash, right? But the problem is, can Fenwick still stop those going forward? DeNovo boots it away. Will be taken by Fenwick on the far side. All right, so if Joliet Catholic is ever going to be fired up for a stop, it's right now. If they get the ball back and do another one of those passes, they could be within 1 score before the 4th quarter happens. The Hilltopper crowd on that far side of the field, small but mighty. They've made themselves heard as much as they can. And right now, on the Fenwick sideline, Matt Battaglia taking an extra long time to go ahead and talk to his guys before sending them out there. I think he knows how important this possession is, despite the fact they're up 2 possessions. Right, and what they have to do, too, is not try to get anything big themselves. Just move the chains, eat some clock, slowly move the ball down the field. Of course, they want to score, but time management in football is almost as important as the score itself. Williams on 1st and 10. RPO once again, this time Raphael Stewart out in the wide side. It was that same play, just the other side, right? They ran that twice in the first half to Cam Garrett. This time Stewart picking up about 7 yards, 2nd and short to go. It's that run-pass option. They fake the run up the middle, then the quarterback can decide to run wide, right? Or that screen is open. Referee's marking him shorter. Looks like he got pushed out closer to the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 7 for Fenwick, this time handing off to Jake Thies. He finds some room. Keeps fighting for yards, but the secondary pushes him back. He might be right at the line to gain. Let's see where the referees give him. Yeah, I think they'll give it to him. We'll see what they do, right? But that's what they need to do. Move the chains, clock runs. They keep the ball, 1st down again. So far the chains are not moving. There they go. So that was a successful set of downs right there. They moved the chains, got 10 yards, clock went by. If you're Matt Battaglia, have to be pleased with what the offense is doing right now. Potentially looking downfield as once again in the spread. You know, we talk about the Fenwick Fast motto. Have they truly embodied that tonight, you feel, Bob?
Oh, absolutely. I was about to compliment them on that prior play, and then the play unfolded. But we'll come back to that in a second.
Damon Williams throws an interception far side of the field. It's number 20, Cohen Lyons. Back over the middle of the field. He's cut down. A flag is thrown on the return.
So the return will come back, whatever it's going to be, 10 or 15 yards, but still it was a turnover. But what I like, undaunted, even though Fenwick just got scored on, they were only up by 10, they were still running their fast-paced offense. So they're staying with the game plan. They're not trying like a basketball team at the end of the game to run the 24-second clock out. They're still taking their natural plays. So it's a well-coached team, this Fenwick thing is. But that being intercepted, we were talking about that. A punt, quick punt, an interception, they get the ball back, they score before the fourth quarter. We're going to have a game here. And I would go deep like 3 or 4 times if you could here. So
that penalty flag we mentioned was picked up by the referees. So now Joliet Catholic starting with great field position on Fenwick's 46. Momentum in their favor despite being down 2 scores. Finnegan will get it right side. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another. Daylight ahead of him. Can he win the foot race? Anthony Finnegan is brought down at the 1-yard line, and Finnegan's had a couple short gains today, and there he goes on his first home run play of the night.
That's the thing. That's the first long gainer on the ground that we've seen all day. We were talking about tiring out the front line of Fenwick. I don't know that they are tired yet, right? But they let him get through. Finnegan down to the 1-yard line, tackled from behind, landed on his knees before the ball went into the end zone. He tried to stretch it out, but all right, now you're at the 1-yard line. I think you're running it in. Punch it in. Don't pass here. Just punch it in.
We have a player down for Fenwick on the near side of the field in the end zone. Maybe one of those players that chased down Finnegan on the long run.
I did that one time, chase somebody down from behind, and what happens is their back feet end up hitting you in the mouth. You have to be careful how you run somebody down. You can't just land on their back foot.
It can be a scary situation. So as the trainers tend to him, with 1:49 left in the third quarter, your score is Fenwick 29, Joliet Catholic 19. And to his feet, actually, we'll stick with the action. That is number 28, Aiden Williams, a senior, listed as both a running back and a defensive back. We called his name numerous times last week in that win against OPRF. A huge miss for the defense here, but they're going to have to find a way to stop Joliet Catholic if they don't want the Hilltoppers to gain all the momentum in the world. Handoff. Finnegan absolutely eviscerated in the backfield. Charging through that hole on the left side. Tommy Thies laying the hammer down, Bob.
I could not think of a better word than eviscerated. It's got all 5 syllables, but boy, you nailed it on that call. He eviscerated the defense and flattened them. That runner is a pancake.
Pancake's a good way to describe it. Finnegan, perhaps, jazzed up after that long run he had, gets sat down right there from Thies, who, again, going to Miami of Ohio for very good reason. But more importantly, right here, right now, first and goal from the 1 turns into second goal from the 4. And the way Fenwick's defense looks tonight, it's not a sure thing.
Well, it changes the complexion here. Now you're thinking about play action and throwing it. Then you're looking at possible interceptions, a sack.
Similik sends a man in motion. Does the same. End around play. Broken up in the backfield. It was Tommy Thies on the last play. Guess who this time? Jake Thies. Huge tackle for loss there. 3rd down and a long goal to go.
It's going backwards from the 1-yard line to the 5-yard line. Now it looks like about the 9-yard line. So 3rd and 9, probably have to throw it in. Now the question is going to be, do they want to throw it in twice and go for the 7? Or if they don't make it on this one, kick the field goal and pull within 1 score. That's going to be a tough decision because you don't often get this close to the end zone where you want to give up and just take the 3 points. The Bears didn't do it this weekend. You wouldn't expect Joliet Catholic to either.
The 3rd down chance starts. The noise level rises at Triton College. Simmelnick takes a snap. The roll to his right. Man in his face throws back across his body. And it's caught! Are you kidding me? It's number 99, Ian Campbell. Touchdown, Hilltoppers, and another gut punch to this Friar defense who's been tremendous all night long.
We're going to be within 3 points here before the 4th quarter. We knew it was going to be one of those games where the last possession is going to win it. But he rolled to the right, and I'm surprised yet again he threw back against the grain towards the middle. That was where the open receivers were.
2 receivers were over there. It's Ian Campbell with his 6'3" frame that came up with it. Vinny DeNovo on attack, the very important extra point on, which he successfully does.
Yeah,
so
he put that into the next zip code too.
He absolutely did. So DeNovo's kick makes this 29-26 Fenwick. What a different game we've had in the last couple minutes versus what we saw in that first half, Bob.
Well, and the big change here, Joliet Central Catholic, I knew I was going to say that one. Joliet Catholic continued to stay with the run, pound up the middle. They were gaining 1 and 2 yards at a time until finally Finnegan broke it. Sure, he was tackled at the 1 yard line, but the damage was done. So we'll see if Joliet Catholic continues to hammer the ball. Again, back only down by 1 score. The passing attack is effective, but an interception took 1 set of downs out of the game. But now they're giving the ball up just down 3. We're before the fourth quarter, but not by much.
2 seconds separate us from the final frame here at Triton College. So if we see a return from the Friars, it'll be the final play of this third quarter.
It's fun to watch, predictions come true. We thought they could pull within 1 score before the fourth.
And here we are, receiving that for the Friars is Tom Zach. And he's gang tackled at about the 26-yard line. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Your score right now, Fenwick 29, Joliet Catholic 26, right here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live...
Back here at Triton College, Fenwick leads Joliet Catholic 29-26 with just 12 minutes to play. We're getting another report from our man on the field, Ryan Haywood.
Yeah, hey guys. Fenwick DB number 28, Aiden Williams, gingerly walked off towards the end of the third quarter. It is a right leg injury. The coaching staff was coming to him, talking to him, see if he could feel it out. So the training staff currently stretching him out on the sidelines. He is questionable to return. On the other side of the field for JCA, that sideline is hyped up. It is a 3-point game, of course. Cone Lines leading a chant on the sideline, kind of rallying the troops. We are in for a very interesting end, so guys, take it away.
Thanks again, Ryan. I think, Bob, Ryan said it best. If we're talking momentum. We talked about momentum shifts, what could happen. I think all the momentum in the world is actually in the trailing team right now in the Hilltoppers.
Couldn't agree more. But what I did like on that prior run, there was a lot of push to get the yards needed. So right now, Fenwick understands the situation and is definitely hitting as hard as they need to do. Now, another one of those big plays, 3 yards short of the first down. They don't make it. They got to give the ball away to Joliet Catholic for the first time for a chance to take the lead in a long time.
Fenwick has a pretty good punter. Of course, Noah Sir is going to Northwestern to kick, but he can punt the ball pretty solidly. You don't have to rely on your punter here, though, to flip the field. You're hoping your offense can at least muster a little bit of production and maybe put some points on the board. But right now, that remains to be seen. Third down, 2 yards to go. Williams in the shotgun once again. Hands off ahead to Thies.
Now, they like to give the first down when you get close, but I don't think they're close enough to get the first down.
Referee did signal his arms like he was stopping the clock.
They're waving it out of the first down.
Moving.
That's a very, very forgiving gain on third down.
First down Friars, perhaps a generous spot.
Yep.
I do think if Coach Jaworski of the Hilltoppers over there wanted to argue it, he'd have a case, but I think we're going to play on anyways, Bob. How big is that couple inches right there?
Well, and that's what we're talking about, right? That could be the difference between punting it away, giving the ball to the other team, or holding on to it. So now they get 3 more downs. You never know. They could get 6 yards, or what do they need, 65 for a score. So that was a huge, and I'm going to say referee decision. But that's not uncommon in high school. It's not like they were robbed.
Williams seeing pressure, has a man up top. Connects! It's Tom Zach, brought down at the 30-yard line. Fenwick, another big gain, and another 1st and 10.
That's like your worst fear after a generous first down like that. Get 30 more yards. So now 30 yards away from, if you don't score a touchdown, you're getting in range for a field goal. So if you'll go up by 6, that's a big difference compared to up by 3.
In coverage there was Cohen Lyons. He had the big interception on the series prior. This time, though, looks like Tom Zach got the best of him.
And that's a damper, right, for Joliet Catholic. They're getting back into the game. They're only down 3, and then that happens. You know, the fans are in it. The team is in it. They're going crazy on their sideline, but that was a big gainer.
On the ground, Thies trudges ahead, falling forward, really good at staying up, even as he's falling down to just gain those couple extra precious yards. It's
so hard to tackle a running back when he's like below your waist, you know, continuing to run forward and gain yardage. Very good runner.
So Fenwick was playing with pace before. They're still going to go in the no-huddle set, not playing as fast. I think they remember, hey, we have the lead, and it's the fourth quarter.
I do like it, though. I like that they're continuing to maintain the normal offense. And, you know, you're in high school, right? So you don't have time to practice absolutely every different style of offense. You've got runs, passes, shotgun, pistols, your runs.
On the read option, Thies once again. It's Jake Thies that's going to be pushed back. A gaggle of defenders from the Hilltoppers getting in on their first. Steve Martin, the senior D-back.
You're good with the thesaurus. I love the gaggle of defenders. That's what it was.
I'm a little edumacated, as they say.
Yeah, right.
No, my dad's listening. I'm sure he'll like that one.
So third down, I think you're in 4-down territory. I do not think that they'll kick from here. Even though Sir can make it, I just don't think that's what they'll do.
Maybe hoping to just pick up a couple yards to potentially get Noah Sir's leg in play for 3 points on the board. But
that'll be a tough call. If you get the 5 yards, you're 2 yards short on fourth down.
Quick pass to the right. Tom Zach gets it. He gets those couple yards and then some. It's not enough for the first down, but a gain of about 5 does make this decision a little more compelling for Matt Battaglia.
And it is a decision. We've had several decisions from both coaches this game that I don't know that I wanted to make the call, you know? So here's one, kick it or not. Looks like they're staying with the offense on the field. They don't see a kicker or a placeholder.
Offense is not going anywhere. Remember, Fenwick's gotten these Hilltoppers to jump on defense before with a hard count. We'll see if they do that here. They have plenty of time on the play clock. They do just that. We'll now look to the sideline for a play call. Wondering if there's any play here or they don't plan to run one at all. Play is ran. Tommy Thies up the middle, pushes forward on the second effort. It's the little things that matter, and those little things matter for a first down right there.
I thought for sure he was stopped cold. Then he spun and he fell forward, and the whole pile helped push him. That's a huge first down. We'll see how this plays out with nearly 7 minutes to go in the game. You have a first down. You've got the lead. More clock is going to get used no matter what happens, and a good chance to score another score. And if you score a touchdown, I mean, without saying it's over, that's a little too big to overcome.
If Fenwick goes down and scores a touchdown right here, that could be the play we could point to and say that won them the game in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile,
they've had a couple on this drive that you could point to for game-changing type plays in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Williams will take it in the shotgun once again. 6.5 minutes remaining in the game. RPO over the middle. Tom Zach caught. Touchdown Fenwick. And there it is, Bob. The going for it on fourth down pays off. Fenwick's up. Big time in this one.
Absolutely huge, perfectly thrown ball, a deep slant, right in his hands, perfectly caught, couldn't get caught from behind. But you go back to the generous spot and that fourth down play, the second effort that got the first down. We were saying earlier, Fenwick understood the assignment and they came through.
So many different athletes on Fenwick, especially in this offense that Jamin Williams has to help this offense create. Both the Thies brothers, Cam Garrett's been all over the place, Tom Zach with a touchdown there. Of course, Noah Sir taking on the extra point. Very important to make this a 10-point lead for the Friars. I think it's not only impressive their output, but how many different guys are getting their name in the stat sheet.
Well, and exactly. I mean, so many things that Fenwick has done well in this game. And that's the thing, though. You can't win with just one person or just one quarterback or one receiver. It takes a team. But the line is putting the effort into it. The coaches are making the right calls. Fenwick is a team that looks like they're not afraid of the moment either. This is a very, very tough game, a big win if they get it, right? So you're thinking, watching this game, that Fenwick can go deep into the playoffs here.
Starting 3-0 certainly sounds like the right idea for the Friars. And keep in mind, Fenwick's got a pretty tough schedule coming up. The next game, they're playing Montini Catholic, state Class 3A champs last year. They beat them last year, but still, a tall order to go in and defeat a defending champion.
Well, and that's why, the teams like that, they have, whatever the level is, they've got the heart of a champion. It's hard to beat them, but that's why you play these games to get prepared for your championships at the end. It doesn't work to play a light schedule and you think, okay, we'll just win at the end.
Sir with a solid boot once again. That one might not even land in the field of play.
Yeah, I think we know which way the wind is blowing. It's got to be from left to right because that other kickoff from the other side didn't make it, past the end zone. Every kick from the left side did make it into the end zone. A great kickoff kicker.
So 6:34 left on the clock.
And he's going to get nothing but better as he works out in the weight room, gets older, stronger, and of course at Northwestern, smarter.
Can't say that a lot of Big Ten schools. I say that having gone to one of them. It's not important which. Anyways, Joliet Catholic, Lucas Similek will take this offense and try to take him down the field to get back into this one. They'll hand off to Finnegan, who is just absolutely stuffed. Mike Murphy throwing him down maybe a little too late.
Well, I would agree it was a little too late, but I think that's on the referee. I would have blown that whistle. Then that hit doesn't happen. But you know what? That's also how Fenwick got the first down earlier on that second effort. He looked like he was stopped cold. You should probably blow the whistle, but the second effort, no whistle, got the first down, which resulted in the score.
So we have a player down on the far side for JCA.
Looks like a cramp.
And if that could be a big blow to them, Bob. That's Jaden Armstrong, one of their better athletes, scored the first 2 touchdowns of the night for the Hilltoppers. Let's see if we can get him stretched out and back on the field of play because he sure is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it would be great if he can get back on there. But, you're right. 2 touchdowns, taking him off the field. Sometimes, though, if you do take him off the field, strange things happen. Like you have to open up your offense to other players. They might be ready for the moment. So, it's hard to say that, seeing him on the ground. But he's probably going to have to go off for a little while. And, it's hard to tell from here what it is. But the way that they're working on him, it looks like a cramp to me.
Yeah, we'll stick with the action here. It's important that you brought up the fact that there are other weapons that maybe could get some more usage if Armstrong is out. We saw on that last play, the play that put them within 3 points, of course, was Similek's pass downfield on the near side to Michael Brown. He's had a big night already. The senior, 5'11", 175 pounds. What's not to like about all the weapons that Similek has to work with?
Well, and that's what makes him good. If he only had one weapon to throw to, then he can get shut down, and he's not as good. So you've got to be able to move the ball around to different receivers, and then you have to have a running attack so that the defense has to stay up while you're throwing over their heads. So you need diverse offenses, and of course, Fenwick, you have a good, solid front line to stop the run. But I don't think Joliet Catholic's going to run too much more this game, even though it looked like that might be the way back into the game. They're down by 10 points, and they need to get some chunk yardage here.
So Armstrong's off the field for JCA. Similek drops back, rolls right, uncorks one downfield, double coverage. Incomplete, looking for a flag there. The intended receiver, Michael Brown, who scored the last touchdown for them. A flag was in the backfield. Let's see what this head official has to say.
That's too bad. It was going to get caught, and then it got called back. But Brown on that pattern, he to me looked like he slowed up. I'm wondering if he slowed up on purpose, hoping to get run down from behind, because it looked to me if he kept going, he would have had it. So that also tells me, is it possible he wasn't tracking the ball? He just didn't see it, and he kept with the pattern until the ball finally, hit the ground near him. But whatever, this play is getting backed up, making it harder and harder for Joliet Catholic with less time on the clock.
That play call may be showing that JCA feels that time is of the essence. That was a pretty big swing there. They didn't quite connect, but if they do, it really changes the dynamic of this one vastly.
Yeah, I do think they have to take that swing again.
Second and long. Similek, center screen over the middle. It's Finnegan. Blockers in front of him. He cuts up. Couldn't break that last tackle, but a huge chunk of yards gained there brings from 2nd and 20 to now 3rd and about 2.
What a great play call, though. And then, boy, did he have blocking in front of you. Like you said, it was a center screen pass. 3 linemen in front of him. And, of course, he got, 18 yards on that gain. Now the clock is ticking, 5.5 minutes to go, and you're still down those 2 scores. But now at least it's 4-down territory, and they're only a couple yards away from it. They could pick this up on the ground because the clock will stop on the first down. But I think they're going to see the ball in the air the rest of the way for the most part.
Fenwick only rushes 3. Over the middle, Similek connects. And catching that ball right where he sat down. It's number 6, Dylan Travis. I believe that's his first catch of the game, but it's important to 1 first down, Hilltoppers.
It looked to me like Declan Wagner is wide open on the deep left side, and it looks also like Fenwick is covering those deep wide receivers. I'm sorry, man-to-man, single coverage, no safety over the top.
Fenwick still only rushing 3, maybe wanting to just prevent the home run play here from Joliet. Simulek has time, will unleash this one. Up top, through the hands. Craig Peacock ran a good route, had a step on the defender, but couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I feel like that was a catchable ball. He was behind the defense on that. Again, slowed up to bump the defender off the play, but the ball then got to him too quickly. I just felt like if he kept running, it was right in his hands. The defender wasn't going to get it. It's easy to say from up here. We got a great view of that.
Odin Furjak on the pass coverage for the Fenwick Friars. Got another report from our man down in the field, Ryan Haywood.
Yeah, hey guys, senior wide receiver Jaden Armstrong for Joliet Catholic has a right leg injury. You might have saw him go off the field. He was wincing in pain. He is questionable to return.
Thank you, Ryan. Intercepted! It's Mike Murphy!
If there's ever a nail in the coffin, that was it right there. An interception over the middle. Now Fenwick has the ball with only 4.5 minutes to go. It's going to be a long time before Joliet Catholic gets the ball back. If they even get the ball back, they could eat the clock down to 0 here. It's tough for Joliet Catholic. What a great interception.
So Lucas Simulek, we've seen the arm talent tonight, but I think this Fenwick defense maybe has him seeing goes. That's his 3rd interception of the night for what has otherwise been a tremendous performance from him when he's connected on those throws. However, now Jamin Williams is winning the quarterback duel and will command his offense up 10, 4.5 minutes to go. Things sure look up for the Friars.
2 receivers out there, but I got to believe they're going to keep this on the ground, or at least a rollout where you don't throw it. You cannot risk getting an interception here.
They're lining the receivers in tight. They do hand off. That's Jake Thies, who gets touched in the backfield, but somehow gets back to the line of scrimmage.
See, what I do here is, okay, every play is roughly 30, maybe 45 seconds. They got 4 runs here. They can eat the clock all the way down to about 2 minutes, even if Joliet Catholic, it does get the ball back. So I would keep it on the ground if I can. I don't think you need to throw for a first down here. We'll see what they do. And, of course, Williams is a terrific runner, so if he rolls out, that's going to be tough to stop. Joliet Catholic has to be hurting now after that interception.
They do have all 3 timeouts at their disposal if they choose to use it. Fenwick's going to let that clock keep tipping as we pass the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen a slowdown from Fenwick in this game. They did not choose to eat clock earlier.
Fenwick fast, maybe not right now, as they just want to make sure that they come out with a W in what could be such a big game in the rankings. Williams keeps on the ground up ahead, and he'll be brought down for about a gain of 1.
Yeah, first down would be absolutely deadly here. Yeah, it's one of those things where Fenwick, they're not playing for a touchdown here. They believe the touchdown line is right there at the 26-yard line.
And we mentioned the timeouts before. The first timeout used from Joliet Catholic with 3:29 on the clock. Their defense has certainly had to put in a lot of work tonight. I don't necessarily think it's been a bad effort for them. I just think I am surprised about how athletic Fenwick has, just their weapons and their repertoire, Bob.
Yeah, they are proving to be an absolutely outstanding team, and not just one-dimensional. They've got the offense and defense. It's not like, okay, we're a defense. The character of our team is strong defense or strong front line or something. They got interceptions. The Thies brothers have been absolutely terrific. Williams is a good quarterback. Absolutely excellent coaching staff. So, I mean, Fenwick, they look like a very good team to go deep in the playoffs at the end of the year.
Head coach Matt Battaglia, we spoke to him, said the biggest thing that stands out about his group of players out there is their shared experience and their consistency. They came out and played a physical brand of football their first 2 weeks, and that's something they want to play all year. I think they've done just that tonight, Bob. I don't think you disagree either.
No, and it's such a well-coached group. He's earning these wins. So 70 yards away with 3:29 to go. I'm sorry, 30 yards away.
And like you said, maybe all they need is that first down marker, and then this one, we can wrap up and put a bow on it. 3rd and a long 6, though. Williams low snap. RPO is just going to have to take it. Kind of a busted play there and falls down at the line of scrimmage.
Smart move. It's fourth down. The clock will get timeout here, right? So the clock will stop. So if they don't make a first down, Joliet Catholic will have 3 minutes to go, and I was getting ahead of myself, getting the ball at the 30-yard line, 70 yards away. I kind of forgot that there had to be a couple play calls before they got to that point.
Yeah. A lot more intrigue in this one. Of course, flipping the script, Joliet Catholic still got a chance in this one now that they forced fourth down for Fenwick. But an 0-3 start, haven't seen that in nearly a decade for the Hilltoppers, and their schedule does not get much easier, Bob. At Marist, they'll play Nazareth Academy, who they've lost to in the state title game the last 2 years, at home, and then will stay at home to play Niles Notre Dame, who's another top team in the state.
Well, and I think this passing attack will clear up. I mean, 3 interceptions today. Fenwick did an outstanding job spying the quarterback, keeping the eyes on the quarterback, and then figuring out where he was going to throw it and then jump the routes. I think a lot of that will get cleaned up as they play the better teams going forward. So I don't think you're going to see Joliet Catholic continue to lose even against these strong teams. It's just, learning experience. That's why you play the games. But the question is, how many can you lose and still make the state playoffs?
Hopefully a question that Joliet Catholic won't have to think about yet if they want a chance in coming back in this one. So fourth down, Matt Pataglia keeps his offense out there. We'll see for how long, if there's a play involved or not. Don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. A field goal from this range, if you miss it, gives pretty solid field position back to the Hilltoppers. Yeah,
I wouldn't do it. I would go for it here, and wherever the ball is, it is.
Williams throws it with pressure in his face. He's got Tomzak. He's open again. Will Tomzak gives the Friars the dagger. It's all Fenwick's tonight, Bob.
That's the very definition of what a dagger is, right? This game is over. That's it, right? What a great play call on fourth down to go over the top behind the defense. Everybody expected to run. Like I said, where the ball it is. Well, in this case, it is in the end zone.
The beauty of misdirection and fooling your opponent generates so much offense at all levels of the game. And I think what you just said there, they were expecting run, come up pass, just to really finish this one off.
42-26. This is a giant win. This isn't just a lucky, you get a last-minute field goal at the end of a game.
Hold is good. Kick is even better. Noah Sir makes it 43-26 Fenwick with just over 3 minutes to go in this game. Bob, I know we expected a great game no matter who was going to win. I don't think either of us expected quite the performance we've seen from this home team in the Fenwick Friars.
No, and they, like I said it earlier, they absolutely understood the assignment. They were ready for this game. They were on a mission. They had a terrific team, 2-0. Now it's going to be 3-0, and they had a chance to, put Joliet Catholic away, and they did. I thought it was going to come down to the last possession, and it didn't. So they played an outstanding game here.
If you are Joliet Catholic, of course, dropping to 0-3 looks bad. But again, if this game doesn't go their way, the 3 teams that they have played so far, top teams in the state, Fenwick might be even better than advertised. What do you say in the locker room to kind of remind you guys, we have a goal to go out there and make the playoffs and do some damage?
Well, that's the first thing you start with. Fenwick was a better team than we expected, and they did really well. You still played well. You just lost to a good team. Okay, you're going to play other good teams. We need to fix, corrections in these, 2 or 3 areas. This is what we're going to do different in practice and in the games. And I think the coaching staff at Joliet Catholic is really, really good. So they're going to make those adjustments as the year wears on.
Noah Sir boots it out the back of the end zone,
And that is such a weapon when you're a kickoff team. Not once did the other team get to make a return to whatever, the 35-yard, the 35-yard line, the 40-yard line. It's always at the 20, always 80 yards away, and you have no fear of special team touchdown on the kickoff.
3:15 to go. This Joliet Catholic offense takes the field for what could be their last drive of the night.
Without Armstrong. Nope, he's on.
Similik almost intercepted.
Armstrong is back on the field on the near side.
So that is interesting. Jaden Armstrong re-enters, probably Joliet Catholic's most lethal weapon. But the real story of that play, number 28 for Fenwick, Aiden Williams, who was hurt before, re-enters the game and almost makes a game-sealing pick 6.
Well, on defense, that's what you're hoping for. I mean, you dream of that, right? You've already won the game, so you can jump the route, right, and go for the interception. If it gets caught behind you, well, you're up 17. It's not the end of the day, but yeah, you're dreaming of this moment. It's like in basketball. You're dreaming for that 3-point shot down by 2 with a second to go.
Yeah, with drawing similarities to last week, Tommy Thies' scoop and score finished off the rival OPRF for Fenwick. Meanwhile, Similik in the pocket, pass over the middle, overthrown. He had Dylan Travis in that post route in between the two safeties.
And we talked about that earlier. They did it. They sent a guy deep in the middle. They sent somebody down the left. They sent somebody down the right. And then the quarterback has to pick what he wants. There's two safeties deep. And, of course, some cornerback is going to run with the receiver. But that's what you do. You flood deep, and you pick the one that you think is open. And I think you have to have some kind of a crossing route, whether it's a deep cross or a short cross. And then, you've got one more receiver out in the flat. And you have, nobody's going to blitz at this point in time either. So you don't need an outlet receiver necessarily.
Fenwick content with playing back and a little bit of prevent. They only rush 3. Near side, Armstrong, who's back in the game, makes a catch. Brought down quickly, Odin Furjak, who's done a great job all night, whether it's been on him or another one of Joliet Catholic's athletes. Catches enough for a first down, and the Hilltoppers are going to move quick.
Yeah, nobody really cares on Fenwick that they got a first down. They just want to keep all the plays in front of them. And that was exactly that. The ball got caught, inbounds, tackled inbounds, clock keeps going, well, except for the first down and stoppage. 2:45 to go.
Similik rolls right, seeing some pressure, back over the middle of the field. That one's in the breadbasket of Armstrong, cannot come up with it, perhaps sensing the footsteps of a couple Friar defenders over the middle.
Yeah, or perhaps it was thrown just enough behind them that he, just couldn't reel it in. But that's what we were talking about. They sent 2 players deep this time and then sent Armstrong over the middle, just unfortunately incomplete. The only good thing about that being incomplete, while the clock isn't running, while he's getting tackled in the middle of the field, you'd like to be able to throw the kind of pass where you're headed out of bounds and then you go out of bounds after the catch.
Once again, story of the game has to be the Fenwick defense. I know there's 26 points on the board, but I think a lot of the momentum shifting plays today have been because of the 11 guys in the field right now.
Yeah, you've got a hard task. Hang on, we'll talk about it in a sec.
Similik airs it out, a bit too deep. The double coverage was there for Fenwick. Once again, wanted to dial up Craig Peacock on that far side.
Of course, we're as unofficial as it gets, but which Thies are you going to give the MVP to?
Yes, maybe is the answer there. In all seriousness, I kind of want you to speak on this too. 2 tremendous athletes that on both sides of the ball. I mean, you can not. It's not one of those times you can kind of see their impact. No, these are guys that are making the highlight plays and being that X factor on offense and defense.
Well, and that's the words right there, on offense and defense. Hunter won the Heisman Trophy. It's just like
Travis
right?
Hunter
yeah,
did, yes.
Right. So you got offense and defense, absolute playmakers. They're not just taking up space on offense or defense, but they are the players making the plays.
Right side pass, too wide on 3rd down, brings up 4th and 10, 2:20 to go. Fenwick still leads 43-26.
So if this pass isn't completed for 10 yards afterwards, it'll be just a merciful end of running 2 minutes off the clock. But Joliet Catholic, they did play a good game, but Fenwick is just too much today. And a lot to build on. Stay healthy, though.
Staying healthy is of importance. There's a couple banged up guys on both sides that we're hopefully wishing the best for. 2:20 to go. Focus now. Goes to the 30-yard line, and this JCA offense. Similik, shotgun. Left side, gets Armstrong the comeback route. Incomplete. No flags in the field. Turnover on downs. And I think the Fenwick fans are feeling it, Bob.
Oh, I think they were feeling it when we thought that dagger went in, right? But what a great game. And, of course, you look at the fans here. Well, the stands aren't as full as they were. But, oh, my God, it was like, we're at a decent-sized stadium here, Triton. And the whole side, this side, was filled up. Even the Joliet Catholic side wasn't as full. But what a well-supported team here at the stadium.
So with 2:15, Fenwick's offense will take the field for most likely its last time. Jamin Williams wearing number 12. What a night he's had, whether it's been throwing the ball, creating opportunities with his feet, and everything in between.
Well, and usually you give the MVP to the quarterback, and this quarterback, Williams had a great night. He's absolutely dangerous on his feet as well as with his arm, but, man, those Thies brothers just stole the show.
Rocco Nero took it up ahead and then was sent to his feet. Good sportsmanship there. That's Ian Campbell, number 99. We spoke about him. He caught a touchdown pass earlier, but maybe his biggest achievement, he's committed to continue his football career at the Naval Academy.
That's an amazing feeling when you're a good high school athlete, you're wanted at the college level and you get a commitment there. And, of course, sometimes it works out great at that next level, probably will for him. But sometimes you end up on that college team and you find out, even though you're a star in high school. So I fully expect him to have a fantastic 4-year career there.
Ian Campbell's been very complimentary of his team. He knows he's one of the larger forces out there. And his quote, I'm going to bring that grit every single day. I think we saw a lot of fight out of Campbell tonight. A lot of fight from Joliet Catholic. Like you said, Bob, Fenwick might have just been too much.
Well, and here we got, instead of the brotherly shove, we simply have a victory formation. A couple times the game will be over, and what a well-played game.
One more quarterback kneel from Jamin Williams will do it as time ticks away from Triton College here in beautiful River Grove. Not only just the game, but what a night of football weather, Bob.
Well, that's why they call it Friday Night Lights, right? This is absolutely wonderful. Now, it's not yet cold. You know, add 4 8 weeks from now and you get some chilly weather. We're in an outdoor booth up here. Well, it's well covered, though. But absolutely perfect football weather. And we were treated to do just a fantastic game.
One last snap will do it. And that's it. These Friday Night Lights looking like Friar Night Lights here at Triton College. Time will tick away here. And what a game for both teams. But Fenwick, 3-0 on the season, looking to be one of their better seasons on record in school history. They're going to take this one by a score of 43-26.
Friar Night Lights. I love it. That should be their new slogan.
Fenwick fans, if you're listening to this and you did not hate that, please let me know. In all seriousness, thanks for tuning in. Your final score from Triton College, once again, Fenwick 43, Joliet Catholic 26. Stick with us, folks. We're going to have a post-game interview with our player of the game coming up right after this on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Welcome back to Triton College, folks. A 43-28 win for the Fenwick Friars over the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers. Our Sports Broadcast Solutions player of the game standing next to me, Jake Thies. Jake, what a big win for this program against another program that has been a state contender in years past. How does this feel for your team?
It feels really good. Our head coach has never won week 3 at Fenwick, so we had a little extra fire in us this week, and we just went out there and did it for him. So, yeah.
A great win, of course, and you have a lot to do in it. You started off some of the scoring for your team, a pick 6 early on. What did you see there, and I guess how did that feel, of course, leading that off with such a big play?
Yeah, it felt really good, but, I mean, those plays don't happen without everyone else in the defense, so, I mean, those guys all need credit too. They're just helping me, and then when I make the play, it's because everyone's doing their job, so all credit goes to my teammates.
You and your brother Tommy are two-way forces on this team, and you showed it today about a 60-yard run there in the second quarter to once again open this game up. What allows you to get those lanes and get so wide open with so much real estate in front of you?
The O-line did a really good job on that play. I mean, it was wide open. Our receiver, Jimmy Watts, blocking his guy 40 yards downfield. I mean, that's stuff that turns a 20-yard gain into a touchdown. So, I mean, like when you push that hard and when your receivers block like O-linemen, I mean, big plays they just come.
And you talked about head coach Matt Battaglia already. You know, he's been at Fenwick for a while, really building this program up. What sort of things does he say in the locker room as these games are going on to keep you guys focused out there?
Definitely just stay locked in. I mean, we have a lead. Doesn't matter. We got to come out, play every snap the same way. And I mean, we let up a little bit towards the end, but then we came back and just executed, and that's what we got to do.
Jake, of course, great game. Congratulations. We're going to see you next time, hopefully. Keep doing big things.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us tonight at Triton College. My name's Andy Diedrich. For our entire crew here at Triton College, we're going to say so long. We'll see you next time.